pull up a chair. This is Off the Back Porch. Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer is brought to you in part by Country Village Sporting Goods. Everything you need to get in the woods, the water, or to the camp is at Country Village Sporting Goods. Jason Hardy State Farm. Like a good neighbor, Jason Hardy at State Farm is there. And Larry's Pizza in El Dorado, home of the Double Pizza Parade.
20 plus years of bringing you the most important and latest information with local happenings, news, sports, opinions, and probably an attempt at humor. Also brought to you in part by Davis Farms Country Market. For farm to table fresh, it's Davis Farms Country Market. Cook's Body Shop. Chances are it will happen. And when it does, look to Cook's. Murphy Arts District. For the latest information on concerts and events, go to eldomad.com.
Recorded live from Main Street Pizza in historic, beautiful downtown El Dorado, Arkansas. With a history of being the voices you trust. This is Off the Back Porch with Boomer and Sandy. Or Sandy and Boomer. Or two old guys you've known for a long time, whatever. And now your hosts, Troy, Boomer, Barrios, and B.A. Sandy Sanford.
Thank you, Johnny Dean, and welcome to another edition of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. Here, Boomer, at our favorite place, and that is Main Street Pizza.
Main Street Pizza, coldest beer in town. It is.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Yeah, and it's the same.
If it ain't, we're going to say it is.
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. And our special guest, and I hadn't seen you in so many years. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Amanda Dennis. This is Troy's oldest daughter.
Mm-hmm. Second oldest. Amy's about 1.5 years older than
me. That is right.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. So middle child syndrome now. Let's talk about that.
You know, apparently I just developed that, I guess. I don't know. No middle child.
So, full disclosure here, Amanda and I worked together with her dad. We all worked together at one time. And I know I sound like I'm talking through a bucket.
It does.
But it's you know,
it's just your head.
Pollen season. Yeah. If you had a head that looked like this.
I'd be sick too. Yeah.
But I was telling your dad a while back, I said, what's that little white dog? I said, curly hair lap dog. And he's like, I said, a Bichon. What now?
Bichon Frise.
And I told him, I said, Amanda and I used to just laugh our butts off at you because you did that commercial
Bichon
that time.
Frise.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Y'all were making fun of me.
He did a radio commercial and he said it, and you were like, hey, listen to this. We were going some sales calls up, and you turned the radio up and you said, his Cajun ass.
It was some fun times.
Those were fun times.
What was your pseudo name that we used?
Brooke Anthony.
No.
Yeah. No, that was when I was did morning on one of the other stations when I was with y'all. What was it?
Because it was
I'd come
Dusty Ryan, and she'd come in with Dusty Ryan
and do celebrity gossip.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Well,
I don't remember either.
That's what happens when you get old. You can't remember.
Oh yeah, you're so old.
I'm getting there.
My daughter, she was Danny Parker.
Oh,
and because we already had a Micah on the air.
That's right.
Kendra was Micah Daniels.
Yeah.
And so Micah was then she became Danny Parker, and we had Dusty Ryan, and we had Drew,
that's right.
And when and Steve couldn't use Steve because we already had a Steve. You remember that when Steve first came on the air?
Is that right? I forgot about that.
Because he used a pseudonym, and he says that's weird. He says, I'm a Steve, but we can't use Steve because there already is a Steve or something.
You
don't know anything. All right, you don't remember either, so we're in deep water if you don't remember.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of employees run through that place.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. So.
Including the guy who put his feet on my desk, which I'm never going to get over.
If you walk in the general manager's office and you are either comfortable enough in your mind or you're just really absent of any intelligence, and you put your feet up on the GM's desk,
things probably aren't going to go well for you, right?
Not a good thing.
And to come in and ask me for a raise, ultimatum raise, raise or else. I said, well, the first thing you do is get your damn feet off my desk. That's the first thing you can do.
And no, you're not getting a raise.
That's right.
In fact, you're not getting to do your next shift.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's like, well, I guess I'll just have to walk. I was like, I accept your 2 weeks. Make sure you go.
You can run.
So, oh my. Anyway, you know how we say that crazy happens around us all the time?
All the time. You and I especially.
It's
Y'all attract crazy.
We
I
do.
think we
I
do.
know that. We've
Now,
always talked about
I've talked
this.
about, when Fro comes with me, I said, Mama, I said, crazy happens right in front of me. And she attests to that crazy
Just
happens.
watch, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I attract it or if I make it happen, but when I'm driving, I'm a pretty offensive driver.
You're not a defensive driver.
No, I'm on the offense all the time.
Yeah, this is the guy who came in and told me one day his pet peeve was getting people coming to a four-way stop sign, like this one over here behind HealthWorks,
Yeah.
where it kind of does a little jit,
Yeah.
and then you don't know if they're going to turn or they're going to go straight or what, and they don't use the signal. And then he says he doesn't do it either.
But it makes him mad when other
people don't do it
You
right.
can't- don't do what
Those rules are for you.
That's right. That's
Not for me.
It's kind of like the Democrats.
Oh, our dads.
Our dads. Oh no, I'm not going to do this, but you are.
I'm not telling you what I'm going to do with my money. I'm telling you what we're going to do with your money.
Oh,
Don't you feel better about helping people?
All right
Yeah,
now,
your
y'all.
program.
Hey, listen, we in mixed company now,
That's right.
so I am a Democrat, and I
gotcha.
do as I say, and I say as I do.
Listen,
so let's get it, get it twisted.
I've raised plenty of Democrats.
I know you have, baby. I know you have.
Let's see. So I was thinking, it doesn't. I don't have to have Boomer with me for crazy stuff to happen.
It happens to you by yourself.
It does happen to me. So I was in Monroe, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. From the next table over, all I hear is just out of the blue, it ain't supposed to be that color. That ain't even ice cream. Jesus! No. Somebody call Jesus or a doctor. That is not ice cream.
That loud?
That loud.
Where were you at? I mean, in Monroe. What?
Cheddar's.
Okay, nice place. Yeah.
And I'm over there biting a hole in my lip.
Yeah.
Trying to keep from just.
I'd have been reaching for my camera.
I laid my head down on the table. I went all the way to the
Don't
table
say
with my
nothing.
head.
Don't say
And I
nothing.
couldn't even look up because I knew if I made eye contact with Casey or Micah,
That y'all bust
That's
out.
it.
it was going to be
That's it.
on. It was going to be done. This happened several years ago,
Okay.
but the reason it popped up in my Facebook memories the other day,
Okay.
and I was like, I don't know if I've ever told Troy that story or not, but that was right after that we left and went to some shop where Casey and Micah were searching for not bridal gowns, bridesmaids
Bridesmaids, yeah.
gowns, and
That hurt, didn't it, there for a minute?
I had to try to think. The whole time I had the munchkin. Now she was like 6, and I said, "Hey, come here," and I just take a dress off a rack and put it on her, just over her clothes, and she would laugh and giggle, and I'd take a picture. And then we'd take that one off, we'd put another one. And she was just having she said, "This is the best time." I said, "Yeah, but if you see anybody come and tell me because, we're breaking the rules." She's like, "What?" I said, "Oh, yeah, we're not supposed to be doing this." And I said, "Come here." She's like, "No, sir."
No, sir.
She was done. She was done. She didn't want to do it anymore. She didn't want to do it anymore if it meant breaking the rules.
So what was the end of the Cheddar story? Did you not hang around
I have
to
no
see?
idea whether they call Jesus or a doctor, but
She was upset because it's not the right color and it don't
that
even
would
look
not
like
even
ice cream.
ice cream, according to whomever it was at the booth, like 2-3 booths over behind Casey.
Now, you can see that every day, all day long on TikTok now.
Yes.
Stuff like that. And
Yeah.
a lady had lost her mind at the grocery store because she had the receipt, but she had put her card in and taken it out too early before the card was, charged. And they proved it to her. They showed it to her, and she just wouldn't accept it. Well, they called the police, and so he's trying to calm everybody down, and she's screaming, and the poor little girl at the cash register just standing there, and finally got them all to settle down and showed her on the paper, on her thing, on the little Dumaflachi where you put your card in, that it hadn't been transpired yet. And she just went, after being up here, she went, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
He said, so are we good here?
Yeah.
No one's going to jail today? I said, yeah. But a lot of times, it'll be going to jail type stuff because I've seen them jump over the counter and knock stuff off the counter. And
Here's my thing.
yeah.
Let's say she got $75 worth of groceries.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it didn't charge my card. Okay, let's run it again. Tomorrow, if I end up with 2 charges, I just go back to the store and I'm like, hey,
you get it fixed.
by the way,
Yeah.
you know. But of course, I am the guy that one time I could not balance my checkbook. You know, I'm real weird about that too, the whole penny for penny thing. And I could not get it to balance. And it was off by some weird number, like $78.36 or something. It was weird. And
This is when people we all used to do that religiously.
yes.
Yeah, and then you reconcile it at the end of the month when you get your statement in.
Yeah. So I go looking back through it and figure out that I had charged something using my debit card, but instead of them debiting my account, they credited that much to my account.
Oh.
So
So
it
instead
was
of it being
the mistake was in your favor.
yeah, instead of it being a $34 whatever charge, it was a $34 deposit into my account. Well, I was like, oh no, hang on. So I go down to the store. It was the Missile Mart out here on Northwest Avenue. I went down there and said, hey, and told the lady behind the register, she said, what you need to do is walk all the way around the back of the store. There's a door back there. Knock on that back door. That's the main office.
Oh, I know where you were.
Yeah. And so I go
over there by
I say Missile
Magneto.
Mart.
Magneto.
I said Missile Mart. Is that not Missile Mart? That's Hurry Back, maybe.
It may be Hurry Back.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
That store by Magneto, yeah.
Yeah.
So I go around there, I knock on the door, and the lady lets me in, and I tell her, and she said, oh, thank God.
She's
She
been
said,
looking for that
I haven't
person.
been able to find it. She said, I have been looking and looking and looking, and I haven't been able to find it. And she was like, that's very honest of you. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Come looking for us.
well, of course, you know. And so not only then did I have to, you know, give her back the $35, but then I needed to pay the $35 on top of. And
it was like a $68 mistake.
yeah, it was
eventually.
almost a $70
Yeah.
mistake or whatever it was. I don't remember. But,
Whatever.
And she wouldn't. She was like, "No, you came back." And I was like, "Well, I came back not to steal it, because
But I
I'm
also
still
wanna
getting
pay
the
for
product
it."
for free
Right.
if you don't." And
She wouldn't have it?
She finally let me. And because here's what I
Wow.
told her. I mean, she was like, "I'm just amazed at the level of honesty." And I said, "Well, hey, here's the thing." And I said, "People laugh at it if they want to. I've always believed I can never be blessed holding your money.
True.
Yeah.
I can't expect to be blessed holding someone else's money knowingly."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I put that into real action one time. I was in my office at the radio station, and we just had a major client cancel. I don't remember who it was. And I just prayed, and I said, Lord, I don't know what's going on, but you know, we can't afford to lose a client like that. That's a couple of people's salaries. And I really felt the Lord speak to me and say, you can't be blessed holding other people's money. And I was like, whose money do I have? Well, it dawned on me, I had bought a gun from Rodney Wimberly that I had not finished paying him for yet.
Yeah.
And I hadn't thought about it. It had been a year. He hadn't said a word. I hadn't said a word. Because I'd paid him all but like $250. So this back in the day when I still wrote checks. It's probably the last check I ever wrote. But I wrote out a check real quick to him, and I went running down there to the studio, and I walked in and I said, hey, I just realized I still owe you money for that gun. And he's like, really?
He didn't remember.
And I give him that check. A few minutes later, he walks in my office, big old tears rolling down his face. I was like, what's going on? He said, my anniversary's coming up, and I didn't have anything
to give.
And he said, I know what I
There
want
you
to.
go.
I know what I want to get her, but I didn't have it. And said, I just said, Lord, you'll provide. And he said, and you walked in with a check. And I was like, oh man, that's awesome. You know, I go back to work. He leaves my office. I go back. Bing. There's an email.
New client.
There's a new client, new customer. There's the order. It's attached. Awesome, man. That's awesome. Thank you, Lord. That's so awesome. And the Lord says, you can't be blessed holding other people's money. It's like, no, hold on a minute. I don't owe anybody else money. Frank Jazzo. Do you remember Frank Jazzo?
Yeah.
He was our attorney in Washington, D.C. Well, we had played in a golf tournament, and we won. And so we all got some money. Well, he had to leave early from that tournament to catch a flight.
I remember.
Well, I still had his money.
Yeah, that's right.
I had never sent him his money. Just hadn't crossed my mind.
Brilliant
$150.
guy.
Oh, yeah,
Brilliant.
very sharp guy. $150 or something like that. So I yanked my phone out and I called him right then. I said,
You got
Frank,
PayPal?
I said, no, this was before PayPal. I was like, man, I just realized I've got money of yours. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah. And I told him, I said, we won that golf tournament, and you got a $150 coming. And I said, give me an address and I'll send you a check right now. And he's like, okay. He gave me an address. I wrote the check out, put it in an envelope, handed it to Sharon. She put a stamp on it, and that was that. Sit back down at my desk, ding, another email, another client.
Wow.
Oh, no.
And I was like, thank you, Lord.
Yeah. Can I,
Anybody else?
do we have a fair ding coming up?
Boy, I better go straight home and pay my electrician off real quick.
I have just never believed that if you knowingly, that's one thing. If you owe someone money, they're like, hey, take your time, you know, whatever. You've got it. But if you knowingly owe someone money and you can pay them back, you should.
Better.
You should.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Amanda's willing to share this, but Amanda's holding somebody's money, a whole bunch of somebody's money right now.
Is that right?
Yep.
I am. I'm holding a wad of cash from the Margaritaville Casino
On the penny slot.
on the penny slot.
Really?
Baby, I hit a almost $3,000 jackpot on a penny slot. But here's the deal, though.
Tuesday night.
On a Tuesday night. But here's the deal. You know that it was over the amount, so now it's $2,000 you got to pay state taxes on. And so they come over there, and God, it takes forever and ever. And I hand her my driver's license. Well, before I booked my plane ticket to come up here, and I went, oh crap, I don't have that real ID thing yet. And then I went, I'll get my passport. And I went and got it and looked and went, oh, crap, my passport's expired. So I go to the driver's office and I get my new real ID, but then they punch a hole in your face of your driver's card. Well, Minnesota doesn't give hard license. They give a paper, and then they send your license a couple of weeks in the mail. So they come, give me, congratulations on your jackpot. Let me see your ID. I hand them to her. They go, do you have a valid one? And I went, well, that's valid. I have a temporary with a piece of paper that I don't have with me. They said, well, we'll have to hold your winnings until you can bring that piece of paper. So I had to go back up there.
Bad decision.
See?
Let me tell you. Bad decision. Go ahead.
I went up there. I got that $3,000, and I said, I'll just go sit back over there at the same machines, and I'll have you know I won a new $2,000 last night. I've never
waiting for them to give her the $3,000 because they were doing something with
another person.
She goes and plays. I said, "Did you play
that girl paid off? Get her out of here.
Get her out of this casino."
I said, "Everybody knows you don't play the same machine once it pays off."
No, I went right back.
She goes to the same.
I did because all four of them, and I was pulling out 700, 800, 900, another 1,000, and my mom, who's very competitive, is just sitting over there going,
she is
I
balling.
cannot believe you're winning. I need to win now. And so then she had me playing it for her because I was winning her money.
Let me just.
Anyway,
here, I'll touch it.
Trip paid for.
Absolutely.
And it's going in my roof fund.
No, it's not going in a roof fund. It's going into room and board at the Barry Blue Manor.
I'm going to be presented with a bill upon checkout.
Yeah, upon checkout.
Yeah.
This is not an Airbnb. We're there.
And incidentally, we need to hold a little something just in case you sneak out and don't tell anybody bye.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. We can hold a little deposit.
In pennies. No,
wow.
$5,000 worth of pennies.
Yeah.
Of course, when all those casinos started opening around Louisiana, I was doing radio, and we get called to do remotes. It was like we could do 6 remotes a day if we wanted to.
They want you there.
They wanted you there. They wanted you there. They wanted your audience to hear the dings and the bells and all going on in the background and all that. So we're at this one casino, and I'm watching this one couple, and you can tell they are mainstays at this particular.
They're
there every
regulars.
day. Yeah. So they get there, and of course, the first thing they do is they put them an ashtray up on the, and
they sit down in that chair and cross their legs sideways.
And then out come some Beanie Babies, and they put Beanie Babies.
Oh, this is back in the Beanie Baby days.
Yeah, I mean that's back in the mid '90s.
They're like their token, their good luck charms. They got it all
they're
set up.
setting up their offense.
So they Beanie Babies across there, and then she looks at her husband or boyfriend or whomever, the guy that was with her, and says, "Go." He says, "Dink" on his watch, and she starts playing. And so then he was like, it's time. So they switch. Ding. And he's playing. And every time before he would spin, she would go around the screen.
She's putting some voodoo on it. Some Gregory.
All I'm gonna tell you is, I saw them shove more money into that thing. I know there was no way.
None coming out
there
of
was
it.
no way they were going to win that back. As much money as they were shoving in there. And so, yeah. I think the last time I was in a casino, Micah and I had taken her to Tulsa to view the law school, and we were on our way back, and I was like, I'm hungry. And she's like, yeah. I said, see, there's a casino nearby.
Indian casino on the way back from
So
Tulsa.
we stopped at one, and I handed her $20, and I took $20, and after we ate, and I walked over to the machine, I stuck it in there, and like, I don't even know
3
what
minutes.
I know what I did, because it does crossways and this way and up and down. So I don't know what I did, but evidently it was good, and I hit $170.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
Cash out.
Yeah, I cashed that out.
Oh, yeah.
Right then.
I'm not a gambler. I'm here to make money.
So I cashed out like almost $190 right there. And so I walk around, I'll go over to Micah and I'm like, how you doing? She said, well, I was down to like just $2 or $3 left. She said, but I'm back up now. And I looked at the screen. She didn't realize she was up to $80. I was like, you're at $80. She said, oh, cash out.
Yep.
80's enough.
Hey, when you're a
80 on
college
20,
kid,
heck yeah.
Every penny matters.
That's
yeah.
10 meals.
Yes,
that's right.
for
That's
sure.
exactly right. As long as you don't DoorDash them, that's 10 meals.
Listen.
Yeah, that's another thing. I have a hard time believing people who's like, man, things are really tight, but you DoorDashing.
Yeah. And you got Netflix and Prime and Disney and
Oh, but let me tell you, my Munchkin, what she did, I don't remember. It was a couple Saturdays ago.
his Munchkin now is what? 19?
I was about-
18.
18. Yeah, she's a senior.
She's a senior in
my
high school.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, time flies. Wow.
And there's two you've never met, but
Yeah, he has two you had never met.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah. Aubrey, she's 9, the princess,
The princess. Okay.
and then His Royal Highness
I'm
Nolan.
going to tell you, and Aubrey, she'll look at you, and you realize that she's so intelligent when she looks at you, it'll scare you.
This child is smart.
She
really
is a
smart.
Intelligent. Just you can see it in her
Micah.
eyes.
She's Micah all over again, except she's a little more of a free spirit.
Yeah.
Micah never was as free a spirit.
Yeah.
The princess, she's kind of a flower child.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got a little hippie vibe going on there a little bit,
And then Nolan's a boy, man. He's
all
all
boy, all the time.
Oh,
He comes in my office last night. He's like, Dad, I got to show you something. I was like, okay. So he pulls his little Amazon Fire tablet, hits play on it, and he's sitting there holding it, and he's like, you can say he's holding back this laugh, and I'm like, okay, whatever it is, it's gonna be funny. He's waiting for me to see it. And it was some cartoon, and it was just farts, and he is guffawing.
I mean,
Well,
He can't even stand up.
That's funny to a little boy.
And I said, what are you, 6? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
do your children? Well, okay, mine don't do it as much anymore, but they talk to me like like they're an influencer, or a kid like doing an unboxing, or they speak in memes, and it's constant. They narrate their lives. I think they've watched
Watched it
so
so much,
many
YouTube.
videos that they narrate everything that's happening as it's happening,
Oh.
and I love
Drives you crazy.
I love my children more than life, but that makes me want to rip my hair
Bruh.
out.
Have you been called bruh yet?
Oh, I am bruh.
Yes, me too.
That doesn't bother me. I'll be like, bruh. I call
No,
him
I
back.
just-
It doesn't bother me.
See, that was a Cajun thing when I was growing up, but it had a negative connotation.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And,
so
and
it
in,
goes,
fact, in fact, my brother Melvin stopped me. I was going, bruh. And he goes, man, I'll say that.
Yeah, you're right. It was negative.
It was negative back
I
in the
did
day.
not know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
60s,
it was a way of kind of, at least when I was growing up, it was a way of,
demoralizing.
it was more like, so you're like, dude,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, two different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Bruh.
it was like, bruh. Hey, brother. It's bruh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like the
it's
blow up version.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, what are you thinking? Or are you an
Okay.
idiot or whatever?
Yeah, are you an
That's how,
A sase couillon. Or
Couillon.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No,
Yeah.
I
don't think that these days.
Well, I didn't think. I think I was removed enough from that.
Yeah.
I don't have
No, you
that.
didn't. Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, I'm bruh. I'm everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and then Nolan comes in and he says, "Are you going to be here tomorrow?"
Yeah, he tells me. So one night, I'm
Wrestling
sitting on the couch, and he climbs up in my lap, and he said, "Let's play fight." I was like, "Okay." So we're play fighting, and Casey walks through, and she's like, "Hey." I said it was time to go to bed. Go to bed. And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." So I said, "See you tomorrow, Nolan." No, that's so he gets up and he's like, "Good night, Daddy." I said, "Good night." He takes about 3 steps, turns around, and said, "You gonna be here tomorrow?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Wake up early because we're fighting again." And somehow or another, I think he meant it.
He laid down the golf. He's slapped him. Everything except slapped him with some
noon
gloves.
high, buddy.
That's right. He's
Noon
like,
high.
"Go ahead and put it on your calendar. We are fighting again."
Gosh.
He is a dude.
Wait, how old is he?
6.
Okay. Oh man, that's
And-
a fun age.
No, it's not. This is the child that I had to go down to the Jesus school multiple times because he pulled his ding-a-ling out in class.
Whoop. Can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Ooh, no.
Nope, nope,
And,
nope, nopey nope.
I'm like, "What are you thinking?" He's like, "It itched."
We ain't got to
Well,
pull it
I mean-
out.
That's what I was like, dude.
Dude, you can itch it
You
over
can-
your pants.
You can, sit down at the table. I mean,
Yeah.
He's like, "But I was already standing up."
Well, then sit down.
Okay, I get it. It's like when Jax was little. We were in the backyard one day, and I was like, "Man, I got to pee," so I just pee. And I looked at him and I said, "This is the best part about being a man, right?
Pee outside.
You pee outside."
Right.
The next day, his mom calls me and she says, "Did you tell my child that the best thing about being a man is peeing outside?" I said, "I most certainly did."
Yeah, yeah.
In the front yard? I was like, "No."
No, not in
She
the.
said,
Well-
she said, "I pull up and he's standing there in the front yard, pants down to his ankles, and he's like, 'Hey!'"
Well, we had a little one in our. I won't name names, but we had a little one in our family that would do that too because they lived out in the country. Well, then I remember we pulled up to a gas station one time, and he did it there. Little, they're little, but he didn't realize that. Well, we're outside. If
Exactly.
you're used to going outside. Oh yeah, went to the bathroom
Did he
outside at
really?
the gas station.
So, quick story about. He's Preston now, by the way. Not Miles.
That wasn't my kid.
No, I know
But
who you're talking
okay,
about.
no, but my kid is Preston now.
His oldest, Amanda's oldest, we all knew as Miles when he was
Yeah.
little. Well, he had in his friend group there was 2 or 3 Miles.
Yeah.
So he decided he'd just change his name to Preston. He liked it. It's his first name. He likes it. So he's been Preston ever since. But when he was Miles,
It's like he changed being people.
Yeah, he's like a whole new
yeah,
vibe.
no,
Whole
but
new
when he
vibe.
was Miles and he's on the soccer team, this is the age group where there's a ball and just a whole group of kids just running
Yes.
around
The
the,
little
ball.
herding cats.
So here's what Miles would do. He was so fast he'd go, the group is moving, he'd go
He was just
He's
zooming
doing
around them.
circles around
them.
So-
My little ADHD kid who couldn't sit
and
still.
I've got pictures of him, and it's like
He was little.
he was little for his
Say,
age.
you're going to catch him, he's either going to be like this or like this.
Yes. And so the best part of this whole story,
Yeah, go ahead.
you say
Okay,
it.
so Coach put him in as goalie. With second half or
Oh, no.
second quarter.
That's not, you don't do that with an ADHD child.
Yeah, but he's at the goalie now. So, and he's telling him, "All right, this is your goal. This is all your area. Do not let that ball." I mean, he's coaching him up. Do not let that ball go anywhere in here. I'm sorry. And so Miles said, "Okay." So he's standing there, and somebody goes, "Come on, Miles, let's go." And he goes, "I'm not wearing any underwear." At the top of his voice.
The most random thing.
And so Amanda's standing there. This is when she was with Murphy, and it's all Murphy parents.
Oh
on
no!
this team.
It was some Nolan sitting next
Yeah.
to me too.
Yes.
Okay, you
It's-
remember when
yeah.
like the younger Nolans? Yeah, her daughter and,
And so
my
Amanda goes-
and I'm just
She says, "Could be very well true, sis, because I took him to the bathroom to change into his soccer uniform. So I don't know what he
I
has
don't know
on."
what happened after
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
right. Well, I won't say which child, but one of my 6 children, one Easter Sunday, looks right at Casey, looks her right in the face, and says, "I'm not wearing panties."
At church.
Yeah,
She just forgot her panties.
Easter Sunday,
oh no.
and she's like, "Oh, a little late now."
Yeah,
you
we're here.
So what do you want to do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? All right, let's take a break.
All right.
All right, we'll come back. We'll have more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
Experience, courage, common sense. All of these are traits we want in any elected position, but especially in the man we will pick as our next sheriff. Michael Fife hasn't just been in law enforcement for 30 plus years. He's the one who answers the call in the middle of the night, putting himself last and Union County first, looking folks in the eye, doing what's right, standing up for all of us. Vote for Michael Fife for Union County Sheriff.
The brand new deli is open at Davis Farms Country Market, featuring boar's head cheese and meats. Try the turkey bacon ranch, the London broil roast beef, the club sandwich, or a fresh and crispy BLT. Check out their cranberry pecan chicken salad, not to mention fresh hot gumbo, the soup of the day, and more. Davis Farms Country Market, 4523 Junction City Highway, or call 870-639-1323. Country Village Sporting Goods has a little bit of everything you need to get you to the water, the woods, or to the camp. Coming soon, a new shipment of creek boats. Every year we sell out fast. Get yours ordered today. It seems like we're always unboxing the latest and greatest in lures and tackle. Come check out new colors, new styles, and the latest technology making rods lighter and reels easier to cast. Cruise through our vast selection of camo clothing, coveralls, overalls, boots, outerwear, and more. All at Country Village Sporting Goods, 965 Smackover Highway in El Dorado.
Everybody loves a parade, and Hilarious Pizza throws parades all week long. Bring the family in for your favorites, or explore the variety that Hilarious Pizza offers. Come join us at Hilarious Pizza for the greatest parade ever.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer and our special guest, Amanda Dennis. And Amanda, you know, I had the pleasure of, number one, being at your wedding, but even more so being at your reception.
Yes.
You had a beautiful wedding.
Thank you. I thought so.
You did. You had a beautiful wedding. But your reception, it ranks up there.
It was pretty good. We had good, we got the market cornered on food and catering, so you can't have a bad party with our family in charge,
Right. So. The only thing I'll say is, so what I did is I took a rubber plant and I put clothespins on it. Because this was a thing when I was growing up, and then people could come by and put money on it. So I took $100 and I put 5 20s on it, and I looked up a little later and there was only 4 20s on it.
Somebody had taken. He made me a money tree for people to. I can't believe you remember that.
I forgot that.
Somebody
because
taking my money
in South Louisiana or in Cajun culture, you'd pin it on the bride's dress, and you dance with her and pin her. Well, they did that in the
Steel Magnolias?
Italian culture.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be disparaging.
Yeah, but anyway, I said all that to say I always want to call her Amanda Barrios. I think I probably don't have your phone number, but the phone number I do have for you is probably still in there.
Amanda Barrios.
It's probably the same number. I've had the same number since I lived here. So you got my digits.
Okay. So I was telling Boomer this recently. I said, I went for a span of years without ever taking a single drop of alcohol. And I said, you know what changed that? He said, what's that? I said, Amanda. And he's like, what? I was like, yep. We were down at Felsenthal, and I said, she broke out this little bag that had a frozen margarita or daiquiri or something in it. And I said, she's over here eating it with a spoon. She's like, you want some of this? I was like, sure.
Oh, I remember those.
We'd get them every time we went to the camp.
So I took a couple bites of it. I was like,
Oh, that's good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
So I was leaving to come back to town that evening, and I was like, I stopped at some liquor store along the way and said, y'all got a little frozen powder, look like a Capri Sun. But,
little frozen.
and they're like, yeah.
Capri Sun. Oh, that's great.
I want one of them adult Capri Suns.
That's what they are.
In Long Island iced tea.
I forgot about those. Yeah.
So years later, I just got through coaching baseball practice, and it was hot. It's June, July, and we're headed home, and Micah was with me, and she was 17, 18 at the time, and she says, "Daddy, are you hot?" I said, "I'm hot." She said, "It'd be good," and I was like, "One of them adult Capri Suns?" And she was like, "That's just what I was thinking." I said, "Me too." So I whip off in the liquor store. I said,
At
"I'll
the
be right
bottle
back."
shop. I went to the bottle shop.
Yeah, went to the bottle shop. I said, "I'll be right back. Y'all stay right here." So I run in there, and I bet I got 12 different flavors.
You bought the whole case.
Yeah, I did.
So what you got to do though is get you a Ninja Creamy or a Ninja. They've got all these new. You can make a margarita. You can make the slushy machines and all of this stuff. Listen, Ninja got the market cornered on like cool products
because I've got the Ninja Foodie.
Okay,
the 7-in-1.
Yeah.
So I got the creamy. I haven't got the make a margarita machine and all of that. But I thought that's perfect because this summer, adult Capri Suns and adult all of those drinks, but just not have to go buy it. Make it in your own little slushy machine.
Sweet.
I'm gonna have to give me one of them.
Yeah, I got to check that out too. Huh? I got to check that out
Well,
too.
you've got a nugget ice machine at your house.
I do too.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah, the Sonic Ice.
It was.
I have.
I look back at that. I've had it for a little over a year now, and every time I look at it, I'm like, that was a because of me purchase.
Yeah,
Just something I wanted.
Indulgence
But
buying.
you know what? I hadn't felt bad about it yet.
No, we use it all.
I
We use it
use
daily.
mine all the time.
I feel like that would be one of those. I kind of feel bad about the Ninja Creamy because we don't. I mean, it's ice cream. It's kind of a novelty thing. So I need to get that nugget ice maker.
Yep. And what I did, we didn't have enough cabinet space that was tall enough for mine to fit under. So I turned it sideways, and the reservoir, as soon as I set it up and set the reservoir on it, it fell off and broke.
Oh no!
So you'd still have to fill up the reservoir, but if you don't have one, you still have to take out the whole thing and pour it in the back of it. So I did screw it up, but we didn't have it was either that or put it on the floor.
Yeah.
And so but it still works fine. It makes ice just as fine.
So this guy here, I'm not going to say his name, made me godfather to his youngest child.
Oh.
And when she was born, and so he invites me to the christening. Obviously, I have to take part in the christening.
Yeah.
And here I am. I grew up simply God. I had no christenings. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So he's like, church starts at 9. You'll be out of there. 11 is late for us. And I was like, okay. So, what he meant to tell me was Sunday school started at 9. So I showed up like 8:45, and it's like, well, Sunday school starts at 9. He's not there yet. So I just go in this Sunday school class that's people my age. I'm sitting next to a working live margarita machine.
At the church.
In the Sunday school class.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Right next to me the whole time. And then Peter cut off his ear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear over the margarita machine.
They're like, that's okay. That's for later tonight.
So we're doing a wedding reception at a church and had a keg. And do we need to haul it off? I said, oh, no, we'll have that for Sunday school in the morning. I said, they don't allow that at the Baptist church. That's why they got the window in the back at the liquor store
so
for the
y'all pull
Baptist.
around back?
Yeah. So that's a great story.
Of course, once a year, we would always have some event at the radio station, and we would get a keg and a refrigerator and all that stuff. And as soon as that was over, a lot of times I would just roll that somewhere in the building or whatever. Well, I was hosting a poker tournament at my house, and so I took the keg to my house. And, everybody shows up. There's 10 or 12 people, and everybody's getting them beers and all these. And after a little bit, I watch and I look, and a little scruffled up piece of carpet that we called a puppy comes waltzing through the living room and it's side to side. I'm like, what is wrong with that dog? And somebody's like, I think it's parvo. And I was like,
because they get sideways.
I'm watching, and I'm like, I don't know. So I just keep an eye on the puppy, and every time somebody would go over and get him a little bit of that beer, that puppy would go back underneath that keg because it was is in a refrigerator on a stand, and I hear it's licking it up. What comes out of the drain down in a pan on the bottom. The puppy had found it, so the puppy's drunk. The puppy's drunk, and so the puppy's stumbling all around. Everybody thinks it's parvo, and
he's Aunt B drunk.
Yeah, it's Bud Light.
Oh man!
Yeah, so, you see this blank spot on my page right here?
Yes.
Yeah, that should have been black ink, but for some reason it didn't show up.
Print.
So that was, a medicine works too well
If
they cancel it. They quit making it.
oh yeah. Yeah.
So what if it's, I don't know, giving a few people liver disease or heart attacks or myocardial infarctions or any of that, sterilizing men or, changing your entire personality. That's okay. But,
if it works.
But once it starts working, if it works too well.
If it cures something.
It's got to go.
Ixnay on the.
Yeah, remember Dexatrim?
Edison May. Yeah, Dexatrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have that no more.
Yeah,
That's gone.
Yeah, Dexatrim was fine as long as a few housewives were losing some weight.
Remember Quaaludes?
Yeah, that's right. But when congressmen were getting phone calls from their cocaine dealers, it's like, hey, man,
you got to lay off.
Business is slow. All of a sudden, Dexatrim became evil, and it had to go. You remember Contact? Contact, Contact, cold and flu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember that one.
Well,
Yeah.
several of the
I was pretty young.
of the syrups used to have,
All the good stuff in it.
opioids in them. And
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I was, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, Creemulsion was one of them.
I love Creemulsion.
And
What is that, like cough syrup or something?
it's cough syrup, but
Scissor?
so yeah, it was
scissor.
purple drink. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
it really was. Except it's black. And that's the thing about Creemulsion. Creo,
That's such a terrible
yeah,
name.
it
so
is.
Creosote.
Yeah,
Creosote
okay.
is the.
Yeah.
So people either loved it or hated it. There was no middle ground.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: whatever you had that ailed you,
It was good for
it
it.
could take care of it. Yes. Got a broken pinky toe?
Yep.
Creemulsion.
Rub a little
For us,
bit
that
on
was
it.
Dr. Tishner's at our house.
Yes.
We rub a little Dr. Tishner's on
Dr.
it.
Tishner's cures everything.
Yeah, you can heal. You can lose a finger or something, and Dr. Tishner's will cure that.
It'll soak it up.
It won't make it grow back, but it'll scab it
It'll
over.
feel like it growing back.
So Dr. Tishner's story.
Now, you fixed telling the one about your son-in-law?
Yeah, can I tell that again? Amanda hadn't
Absolutely,
heard it.
you
Okay,
can.
okay,
Of
you'll
course.
edit it out. But Amanda doesn't know that.
Now you're telling me what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
When I tell stories, because
You
you told me that one already. I said, okay, well, listen
Mm-hmm.
again. He just edits that out at edit, but you're not going to do it this time.
Whatever you need me to do, bro.
Okay. So John and Lauren are at the house, and John comes down one morning. And he says, he said, I saw your Dr. Tishner's up there. He said, so I said, I've never tried it before. He said, so I just poured it out and poured a little cap full and put it in my mouth.
The first time he told me, that was the same look I had on my face.
And swished it around. I said, oh, no, brother. No, brother.
Not a cap full.
I said, now, I don't want you to put your mouth. It doesn't matter if you put your mouth on it because it's going to kill it, whatever you put on there. I said, but when I brush my teeth, I take a little sip of it and then put water in my mouth.
You got to mix it. You got to cut it.
Yeah, you gotta cut that.
It burned his
it cauterized the inside of his cheeks.
Oh,
I said,
my
do your
gosh.
cheeks feel rough? And he goes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, you just burnt some of it off.
You got Tishnered.
You got Tishnered.
Yeah.
Turn that into a verb.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway. Now, my mother, we had a dog named Peppy. I hadn't told this story. Maybe I have, but we have a dog named Peppy. There was a Chihuahua, and he got run over in the street in Morgan City. And Mama took gauze and popsicle sticks and wrapped that dog. It broke his leg.
Oh, my.
Wrapped it up the lower part of his leg, wrapped it up tight with gauze and popsicle sticks, and then taped it and would pour Dr. Tishner's on it because it cut him.
Yeah.
And she healed that dog.
Okay, we'll see.
That dog's bones grew back.
No wonder Hattie Mae was like,
Yeah.
I broke my arm. Dr. Tishner's.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
well, they had all those, that age group, the greatest generation, you know, they was do stuff like coal oil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, the
or
thing-
blow smoke in your ear for an earache.
Yeah. The thing is there was no just a trip to the doctor.
That
No.
was
for
and
them.
that's the
I mean,
stuff that they had to have that they used.
And any injury could be life altering. So I remember working with a lady. She was much older than me, and she had one foot that was just. I mean, it was 90 degrees to her other foot, and of course she walked with a terrible limp. And you know, I never asked her what happened, but you could tell. I mean, even though this woman was in her late 60s, every step she took was in pain.
Painful.
And I remember someone was telling me, said, "Oh yeah, when she was a little girl, like a little bitty girl, like 5 or 6, she broke her leg,
And it healed that
and
way.
they didn't set it or anything, and that was the rest of her life. She had a foot cocked out to the
Oh, poor
side
thing.
and in pain, and that's just what happened back then. So a
Yeah.
broken leg could mean,
Lifelong
Life-
change.
yeah,
Just,
you know, and so I have an aunt who broke a hip when she was about 8 years old, and you know, medicine then wasn't what it is now, and so making sure she could walk with a normal gait wasn't as important as just making sure they healed the hip, and so she had always had a limp in her gait, and you know, it's just how medicine was then, and
Exactly.
to us today, we're like. I get pissed if my fries are cold. Or
right? What do you mean I can't see you today for an appointment?
Yeah. Speaking of medicines that
Make
have
you
been
feel better?
discontinued, Robitussin, but that's not the one I was thinking of. Vicks Formula 44D.
Yeah.
That was the one.
Yeah, that had dextromethorphan or something.
Yeah,
in it.
it had something in it. It was the stuff that Mama would give to the baby, and then Mama could get all her chores in the
yeah.
house done. And
Before the baby would wake back up.
fever dreams wouldn't wake that child. They come to figure out it had the same chemical makeup as moonshine. No wonder it worked. No wonder it worked.
Well, parents
Well-
used to put a little bit of liquor in your stuff to
Oh,
you know,
listen,
help you sleep while I
Daddy-
watched my stories.
my little sister, she was teething, and Daddy, he's like, "Hey, go give me that go give me that bottle of Canadian Club off the top of the fridge." Like, okay, and,
Rubbed it on her gums. Yeah.
and then he put some of his.
Hey, let's see.
my tooth hurt. No?
Yeah.
So sure, Dad.
So Amanda and the twins grew up here in El Dorado, and you know we were at the modern medicine type that if they had something. Amanda was always the kids still rode bikes back then.
Well,
And-
she's a Gen Xer, like I am.
she identified she's a millennial.
I'm
but you-
really not a millennial. I'm technically Gen X. I'm just late.
Right at it,
Right
yeah.
at it. So I could be that or an elder millennial.
But,
Well, I mean, I'm okay with being a millennial officially. So thank you. You can call me a millennial
Yeah,
again.
So-
it never mattered to me.
You
I
know,
don't care.
my wife is a millennial. She was born in '85, and but she'll tell you real quick. She's like, you can't compare those of us who were born at the beginning of being millennials to the ones who were born at the end.
No, it's totally
of
different.
being millennials.
Because you
Correct.
were 89,
I'm 79.
79.
So I am a Gen
Yeah, that's,
I am
that's
Gen
right.
X.
That's
I was gonna
right.
say,
Yeah,
it was 80 or
I'm
81 was
10
the
years
cutoff.
off.
I'm
I'm
yeah.
10 years off. But anyway, Amanda was always the safe one. And she's the oldest child.
The
and
rule follower.
The rule follower. And
Unless they're dumb.
yeah, we would all be riding bikes, and Amanda would be going slow, and the twins are running up on stuff, and Lauren just run up on the curb and jacked her bike up and hit her head on a telephone pole and had a pump knot on her head, you know. And so it was always things like that. And so Amanda's always been the one that took care of the
To
twins.
Mama Hen. That's
Mama
right.
Hen.
Hey, we were driving back from their mother after we split up, lived in Louisiana, and I still lived in Oklahoma. And the twins are still in car seats. And Amanda's in the back seat trying to administer to the twins to keep them.
Bless you.
So I look back there, and she's had cheese balls, and she was feeding them cheese balls. And I look in the rearview mirror, and she goes, I said, "Oh my God, this child is weary from having to take care of these babies.
It's not fair."
So I said, Amanda, come up here in the front seat. So she climbed over the armrest and sat up in the front seat. Just real quick went to sleep. And so the twins would talk me into letting them unbuckle the seat belts, the car seats, and they would just stand on the floorboard or play in the floorboard. But when we got to Oklahoma City or Dallas, I said, all right, yeah, we're getting to the big city. Y'all got to sit back in there. And so it was always, Amanda being the oldest was always trying to take care of the other ones. So
and that was Micah.
Yeah, that same way with Micah. They're kind of the same.
And what's so funny is
parallels.
Just last night, Cam tells me, he said, the princess, she has the patience of a saint. She said she's in there with His Royal Highness trying to get him to do something, and he's just being a 6-year-old, a typical 6-year-old. And said, she's like, now, baby, listen. And, it is so funny to listen to her because, and I said, well, that's because I jump her butt when she talks to her the way she got talked to as a kid. And, but it's funny how your kids develop these personalities and these roles. And But Amanda, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
That's just life, wasn't it? That's just part of being a bigger sibling. That's part of being an older sibling.
It's being part of being an older sibling and part of being a member of a family, and I think there was when I first, when I was younger, and probably some of the times where you got to know me in my, late 20s, and just there was a lot of bitterness there. It's well, I didn't get to have a childhood because I was helping take care of my little sisters, and it was always on me, and they still look up to me in this. And I think you just come to a point in your life where you say, things were what they were. Everybody's just doing the best they can. There is no parent that has a guidebook to say, here's what you do. We're all growing up and figuring it out at the same time. And
we're flying by the seat of our pants.
Exactly.
We may look like we have this parenting thing down.
Here's the thing. I'm very open, and I've always been very open and honest with my kids about that. Like, I don't know I have an idea of what I'm doing, but I'm not going to get this right, and we're going to have to figure some things out together.
Yeah.
And, and boy, we've had some challenging times with my family over the last 5 years, beautiful times with the things that were going on, and we're living a wonderful, beautiful life now. But looking back, it is like you go through some of those things, and you just kind of learn at some point. You got your raising. It is what it is, and it's on you to you can't sit and just be mad about stuff.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I see so many people my age that just stay mad because of some way they didn't get to do this,
they didn't get to go to the arcade or the roller rink or whatever it was.
I didn't do this because my parents couldn't afford to do this or that, and it's like, you know what? You come to a point where you have to say, it's on me now. Right.
It's probably been just 2 or 3 weeks ago. Excuse me. I was talking to Amanda. I said, at what point in your life did you realize your parents didn't know everything? She goes, probably just not too long ago.
Last week.
She said that. I said, and I was the same. I said, when you're little, under 12, you think, gosh, my parents, they know everything.
Yeah.
And then you realize, they didn't know much, and I don't know much either. So, yeah, that's what she's alluding to.
It's been interesting, but there's something about once you become an adult, the relationship with your parent can change in that, yes, that's my parent, and you can have respect and love, but you might have different people that you use as your guides and your mentors and your that. And I'm not saying that's not for you. I'm talking in general.
No,
but do you know what
yes, because he's been that guy for me.
For you. He's your chosen. And one of the things that I'm learning to be less rigid in my thinking about things. And I'm very particular, and things have to be a certain way. And my kids are really teaching me that, like, bruh, chill. It's gonna be okay. Well, this is the first time in a very long time that I haven't been working full time, and so I get to be a stay-at-home mom, dare I say, for a hot second.
Her eye twitched when she said it.
Did you see my lips shaking? No, I'm enjoying it, though.
Well, Amanda, just to back up, when you were here at a young age, you went to work for Murphy as a temp, through a temp.
Yeah.
And she would do 90 days, and they would grab her and said, "Oh no, we're not letting you leave."
Yeah, I went for
Put them in another
went for a month and then never
The whole
left.
time you were also getting your bachelor's degree, isn't that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I actually
Amanda and I, we shared our we shared that
Yeah.
with each other, that our greatest concerns at that point in life was that neither one of us had finished our bachelor's
Yeah.
degree.
And I knew that was that thing that when you talk about like that for me, not finishing school because I had to be so responsible for family
twins.
and the twins and helping, my mom and their business, I held that on them. And then I had to go, okay, well, hold on. What was my part in that? You know,
Now,
and
did
it's
I party
hard
a
at that
little?
age. It's real hard at that age to be
Yeah.
just really, really honest with yourself.
Self-critical,
you know?
yeah.
And so, but it was one of those things that I knew I had to do that. If I wanted to push forward in corporate America, I had to finish that. And it was hard. It was hard doing that and working. And I was taking a full load because I wanted to get finished
then
as
you
fast
you
as
went
I
on
could.
beyond that, right?
No, I did a little bit, but I never fully finished a master's because I just got too busy in corporate America working.
But then, so you moved up the ranks with Murphy, and then Murphy USA.
I did.
And then you decided that, there's more to the world than Murphy USA, who happens to be a very good employer, I'd say.
Yes.
And
Just saying.
So then you started interviewing with Walmart, didn't you?
I really wanted to leave. I love El Dorado,
Yeah.
but
Everybody wants to branch out.
Everybody wants to branch
That's right.
out, and so I had gotten married, and Shane and we were just, I don't think we wanted just to, have more things to do with kids, and so went to work for Walmart. And had a fantastic
Moved to
career.
Bentonville?
Moved to Northwest Arkansas. Had a fantastic career
Really
at Walmart
flourished?
for
Yeah.
about 10 years. Did really, really well. And then left Walmart and moved north above the
You
Mason-Dixon
did
line.
move north. You went about as far as you can go and still be in the U.S.
Almost. Yeah. So we moved to Minnesota.
Minnesota.
No, I don't. Listen, we're the only Southerners in town, and
People will stop her and
they
say,
stop,
just talk.
Yeah.
And they love Shane has such a deep voice.
I
So
love
he's
Shane,
got
by the way.
Shane's-
that deep voice, and it's real Southern and draw. And so he's got people. This person wants him to come do this podcast with him, and it's an interesting little town, and there are so many parallels to El
Austin.
Dorado.
Austin, Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah.
And let me tell you, it is the home of Spam. Hormel
Foods, yeah.
They are headquartered there, and that is where the Spam Museum is, and you would be shocked at how many tour buses drive up and unload
I love Spam.
tons of people.
I love Spam.
It's
We used
good.
to eat fried Spam.
Cut it thin
Mm-hmm.
and fried. I like Spam. That's the only way I like
Yep.
it. But yeah.
And so it's a town very similar to El Dorado in size, and but different in that it's only one major employer kind of propping up the city. Unlike El Dorado, you all have so much more, and so there's not as much of that exchange of talent.
Yeah.
Between the companies, and so it makes people think a little more insular and stuff like that. So, but it is. There are some fundamental differences,
Of course,
in
yeah.
living in the North and the South, and it's been an interesting exploration of all of those things. So,
Well, tell them about the group that came to El Dorado to help us move forward. And
okay,
this is
here's
a good, good parallel.
Look, this is so. There's everywhere I go in the world. I've been in halfway across the world in some random place and get to talking and meet people and have some weird connection to El Dorado.
Yeah.
A friend of mine from back in the day, Henry Frisbee, used to say El Dorado was the hub of the world.
You can get anywhere from here.
Exactly. So I was there. Austin, Minnesota is trying to do similar to what we did here with MAD, and a marketing campaign, and push the city forward and attract industry and hospitality, and so they've been working on the person that was hired here that put that plan and did the marketing, I forget the guy's name, put the plan together, is the same person that worked with Bentonville when they did downtown
Yes.
Bentonville.
Yeah.
he did the same thing for Austin, Minnesota. And so we got introduced, and he said, well, hold on a second. You mean to tell me you've lived in El Dorado, Bentonville, and now Austin, the same 3 cities that I've worked with? And he was like, well, do you know this person and this? I'm like, yes. But it's, so that's what
I've almost remembered his name, too.
It starts with a D. It won't come to me. I'm having.
It was the guy who designed.
Daniel.
He designed the cow boxes for Gateway Computers. That was his idea.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was his idea. The cows, the black and white Holstein boxes for Gateway Computers.
So hopefully, when I get back to Minnesota next week, I'll have a couple meetings with them because our group, Impact Austin, is ready to do some of the same things. So it's pretty exciting.
That is awesome.
That is fun.
Isn't that weird?
Cool. Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah.
It
It's
is.
so wild. But there's been a lot of parallels between these two. It's nice being back in a small town.
Yeah.
I can get anywhere in 2 minutes with zero traffic. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Micah says when she graduates law school, she said, Daddy, I'll probably never leave Tulsa. She said, it's big enough that everything I could want is right here in Tulsa, but small enough that I can be out of town in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And, of course, all of our friends from high school and college, they all live in Fayetteville and Springdale and Rogers and Bentonville and all that. And so it's a quick 45 minutes for her,
Just right there by it.
So they either come see her on the weekends or she goes and sees them. And I get it, I told all my kids for years, wherever life takes you, let it take you. And if it somehow brings you back here, fantastic. If it doesn't, okay.
Yeah.
But we're hoping it brings you back here. So
Probably not.
I would not count on us coming back to El Dorado, but we have said, you know what? Arkansas, we'll
Maybe retire in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah. Eureka Springs. We want to build a house up on the mountains.
Build a B&B. And
here's the thing about Eureka Springs. You don't ever have to buy weed there.
No.
Just walk outside.
Walk outside.
Love that morning air.
that's where they all are.
Yeah. So it's like the Austin of Arkansas.
It
right?
is. It is.
But for me, it's Van Buren.
Really?
If I could retire anywhere that's not on the Gulf Coast, then I would want to be in the mountains in Van Buren.
Yeah.
Mike and Sherry have a cabin there. They let us go stay in it, and we can sit on the front porch at that cabin, and you can see Bald Knob across there.
It's beautiful.
And, absolutely gorgeous. And just I love that part of the state, and it's
pretty part of the state.
It is. And then if you're in Van Buren, of course, you got Fort Smith right there.
Yeah.
But, you're not far from Fayetteville.
Not far from
Is
Tulsa.
that where we
You
played
can
golf
still
up
go.
on top of the hill up there?
That was an Alma.
Alma.
Yeah, that was a great golf. That's still my favorite golf course I've ever played.
Yeah, you and I and Mike.
We played that and went in. That is my all-time favorite course. Eagle Mills, I believe is the name of it, in Alma.
Yeah.
And I love that course. So
beautiful.
Sandy
up
and
there.
I and Mike, I believe, it may have been that course. We were playing the back of it, and we look out and you're over the water, but there's 2 greens. And we
that was in
where was that? We hit the wrong green, and so when we get there, it says, "Well, the cart paths don't go right," and so some guys pull up, and we're up on the green trying to putt, and they go, "Guys, y'all supposed to be playing that one over there." I said, "Oh, excuse us." So we just pick our balls up and go over there.
Yeah.
Well,
We don't go back and hit again.
Here's another weird one for you. The golf pro, or maybe it's not the golf pro. He's like the head of our country club in Austin. Used to run El Dorado Country Club, or was the golf pro? Yeah. How about
what's his
that?
name?
I'll have to look it up. I can't. I never knew him. I think he's somebody that would have come that would have been here after I left.
Jason. Last I knew, he was in New England.
Oh, I don't remember the name. I'll look it up. But I thought there's another
of all places,
these weird connections. Like I just El Dorado.
Yeah. Glenwood.
Glenwood.
That's where we were, Glenwood.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to say Granger. I knew that wasn't right. Glenwood, yeah. And he's right. We get to this tee box and you just look out there and there's water. And there's a green.
There's a green right there.
We know it's a par 3. There's another green over there. It's a little further, but we're like, we got to be that one. Yeah, it wasn't.
No.
Excuse me, Sandy.
Oh, well.
Yep.
It happens. So, let's take a break.
Okay.
Got to get in all these commercials.
Sure.
And Boomer sells a bunch of commercials.
No,
so I
I
got to
don't.
get. Yeah, it's only because of
It's
him.
all Jax.
Yeah, it really is Jax. But we'll be back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
When it comes to protecting your home or business, trust the name that's been serving South Arkansas for 3 generations, Cross Roofing and Sheet Metal. From residential roofs to large commercial projects, the experienced team at Cross delivers quality you can see and reliability you can count on. Cross Roofing and Sheet Metal, built on trust, proven by results. Call Cross Roofing today. Put a solid future over your head.
Anyone can be so curious.
Get ready to see the world more curiously because Blippi is coming to your hometown. The Be Like Blippi Tour. Join Blippi and Mika live on stage for a one-of-a-kind interactive adventure that inspires kids to move like, play like, and explore just like Blippi. Saturday, April 11th, the First Financial Music Hall in El Dorado. Tickets are on sale now at eldomad.com. Break out your orange Blippi glasses for an unforgettable experience that encourages kids to be like Blippi.
Serving South Arkansas for 25 years, and all the while expanding and growing throughout the state, ProMed Ambulance is proving their motto of world-class care and hometown values. For example, their new mobile integrated healthcare communication center. This state-of-the-art facility allows communication specialists to work directly with local 911 call centers to ensure the closest medical team is always dispatched to any emergency. World-class care and hometown values. For more information and career opportunities, go to ProMedAmbulance.com.
With a name you trust, you can count on us. Glen Mechanical, plumbing, heating, and air.
For over 6 decades, Glen Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations family-owned and operated since 1956. Glen Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlenMechanical.com.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch. Here with Sandy and Boomer and our, so far, my favorite guest. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Oh,
She and Micah.
special.
She's obviously my favorite guest.
Yes.
Amanda, which, if you didn't catch earlier, is Boomer's oldest, or I'm sorry, second oldest daughter. And Amanda's been my friend for 20 years,
Yeah.
And actually, my
Since
oldest.
the aughts.
Yeah, since
When
the
we
aughts.
started, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, my oldest, Amanda, gave her cheer lessons
I did. That's right.
way back in the day.
Man.
Yeah.
I
You were
sure
a
did.
newlywed.
I was a newlywed. That was right after Shane and I got married. Lived right down there on Main Street.
Yeah, sure did. And I would pick Mike up and I'd say, "So how did it go?" She said, "Oh, it went great. I love it." Blah blah blah. I said, "Well, what'd you teach you?" "I'm not showing you anything." She's like, "I'm not showing anybody until I go to tryouts."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, okay. And then she'd get in her room and shut the door, and I'd hear music, and I could tell she's doing her routine.
Oh, yeah.
So, Boomer, we got mail.
I'm cringing already.
Yeah.
Oh, do I need to
Well,
Just
brace
buck up.
myself?
we get
Okay.
roasted a little.
Oh, do
Somewhat.
you?
And it's
It's become a pattern.
it's become a pattern now.
It's like in,
Okay, so people are catching on, and they're
Yeah,
like,
so a few
Yeah.
people roasted us early on, and now, so, dear Sandy and Boomer, I told my husband, who got me started on this podcast, that every episode feels like sitting between 2 uncles at Thanksgiving, Madison and Sterlington.
it's not a very good
That's not.
feeling.
That's not a compliment, I don't think. Dear Sandy and Boomer, I get it now. Your wives send y'all off to do the podcast like your moms used to tell you to go outside and play.
correct.
Andrew in El Dorado.
Check.
Don't be fanning my door. No more going in and out.
Sandy and Boomer. My 15-year-old son said, Sandy has the patience of someone who's had to explain Wi-Fi to an old person. Jennifer in El Dorado. There's no wires, Boomer. It's just in the air. And no, you can't catch it. You got to log into it. Oh, my. Dear Sandy and Boomer, I figured out what it is I love so much about this podcast. It's Boomer's laugh. He laughs hard. Of course, it's probably because he heard the joke before, since Sandy's jokes are mostly from 1992. Brandon and Minden.
Brandon.
Okay, Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Hey, you know what, Brandon? Write me some jokes then.
Yeah, if you're so smart.
I got a 9-year-old in me. That's who writes my jokes.
Yeah. And writes pretty good jokes,
She
by the way.
does write pretty good jokes. So this is the child who her first grade teacher sends me a text one day and says, I guess I know what y'all talk about at your house. I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, God.
I'm
That's
scared to know.
the worst text you could get from a teacher.
And I'm like, I'm afraid to even ask. And she sends me a picture of this classwork they did. And on there it says, Amanda used to go to the store and buy 5 candy bars for $1. Now she buys 4 candy bars for $1. How much is each candy bar? Well, the princess writes 25 cents each. Thanks for nothing, Joe Biden.
We have a nonpartisan household.
So I have to explain to her when she gets home. I'm like, listen, baby. He made the price of everything go. Yeah, but he didn't personally go to the store and say, y'all aren't charging enough for that. You know, she's like, well, something happened. She's not hearing it. Dear Sandy and Boomer, I often watch your show for the guest. Then I stick around to hear Sandy try to steer Boomer back to the topic. Elroy and Dubach.
Thanks, Elroy.
Yeah. Dear Sandy and Boomer, Off the Back Porch is proof that podcasts don't need structure, just microphones and no care whether your opinion is correct or not. Larry in Spring Hill.
I can't tell if that's a compliment or
Yeah,
not.
I know.
Right?
No, either.
Hey,
Yeah.
Larry, are you being a little, is that a little tender shade right there?
Dear Sandy and Boomer, this show has great chemistry. It's like a Gen X referee managing a classic dad rant. Natalie in El Dorado.
That is so funny.
Well, it
yeah,
is so
right?
true.
I bet it is.
It is so true. Sandy and Boomer, my boss has started watching, and he had the funniest take on your podcast. He said half the show is stories, and the other half is Boomer politely trying to end them. Linda in Bluff City. Boomer trying to give me Sandy and Boomer, I'm a film major and a student at the School for Visual Arts in New York.
In New York.
In New York.
Hey,
yeah,
New York.
congratulations.
What?
Everyone here thinks I have an accent until I don't watch your podcast. There's like 12 of us that get together on the weekends and watch, or at least have it on in the background. The other night, one of my classmates said, wait, I get it. Boomer doesn't ramble. He just gives the extended director's cut. Only a film student, right?
Yeah. Right.
That is from Christopher, New York City via Texarkana.
Okay. I see.
That makes sense.
He had
I'm like,
some
what is
southern roots.
Yeah, so someone turned him on to us, and so he's like, "Oh, you think I have an accent? Watch this.
Hang on a minute.
See, that's what I need to do in Minnesota. I need to just turn everybody on to y'all's podcast.
Right.
That
Yeah.
would be a hit.
Oh yeah, they'd be like, "Boy,
I'll
those
make that
guys are
happen.
We're
dumb."
going to make that happen.
Okay. Sandy and Boomer, a funny happened on the way to school this morning I thought I would share with you. On our way, I have your podcast playing over the sound system in my Tahoe. My 4-year-old daughter, whom I never realized were paying attention to y'all, said, you can tell these guys have known each other a long time because Sandy lets Boomer finish stories he's already told 3 or 4 times. Patty and Sparkly.
4-year-old did not say that.
My hand raised
swear
high.
to God.
That's what she sent in. You can tell they've known each other. He lets him just tell those stories over and over. Dear Sandy and Boomer, I never thought. Oh no, that's getting into the. We also have people who send us really serious, sincere, and I don't know how anybody ever thought. Let me ask Sandy and Boomer what they think.
Oh, you get
And that's
questions.
Well,
Dear
they're
Abby
good,
type stuff.
good idea.
Oh, I love this.
So I've got a ton of them, like for weeks now, backed up. But this one is, Dear Sandy and Boomer, I never thought I'd be writing to a podcast for advice, and especially from the two of you. No offense intended, but y'all make me laugh. When I'm burnt out, I just know y'all always bring me out of it. However, my family tree is about to turn into a pretzel, and I'm hoping y'all can help me make sense of it. But promise me you will not mention names or make fun of my family.
Okay.
Promise.
We promise.
My mother passed away several years ago. My father's been widowed since then. About a year ago, he started spending more time with my husband's mother, who also has been single since her husband passed from before I ever met them.
So I'm on grandpa's type story. Is that what's happening?
Oh,
so-
no. Okay.
So her
Daughter's dad
is
now
spending
seeing
time with
her husband's
mom.
her mother-in-law.
So it's
Oh, they're
okay.
going to be brother.
They're going to be brother and sister.
Whoop. Okay.
This here's my stepbrother and my husband.
Yeah.
Husband then step. Okay, I'm sorry.
At
go ahead.
first, it seemed harmless. They went to church events together, met for lunch, and things like that. My husband happened to mention that his mom just bought a new bed, mattress, box springs, and everything. Funny. My dad did the same thing the very same week.
Deep breaths.
Now, my husband and I are not dummies. We figured out that what began as a friendship has turned into dating. With the new beds for both homes in the back of my mind, I wasn't shocked to see my mother-in-law's car at my dad's house before daylight a few weeks ago. You know what? They're both still young. Good for them, I thought. Well, Dad wants my husband and I to join them for what he's calling a very special dinner this weekend. I just know they're going to announce they're getting married. On one hand, I truly want my dad to be happy, and my mother-in-law deserves happiness too. But on the other hand, this feels cringy.
This kind of cringy.
If they get married, my dad becomes my father-in-law, my mother-in-law becomes my stepmom. My husband and I keep joking that we're going to need a whiteboard just to explain our family at Thanksgiving. When we eventually have children, will they be my kids or my nieces and nephews? I'm trying to be supportive, but I can't shake the weirdness of this whole situation. Is it wrong for me to feel uncomfortable about this? Signed, Confused Family Tree.
Well, yes, it's not wrong to feel uncomfortable.
No, it's normal to feel uncomfortable.
Any emotion that you have is valid.
It's valid, yeah.
I tend to agree.
Yeah.
So no, it's not bad to feel weird about it. Mm-hmm. But like you said, your dad deserves happiness.
Correct.
Obviously, he waited an appropriate amount of time. You said your mother's been dead several years, and about a year ago. And I'm thinking they probably just started off just needing friendship.
Someone to go have coffee with.
They already had something in common, and that was their kids.
Yep.
You know, and I'm assuming he's saying, hey, you got a great son. I've got a great daughter.
They're married.
You know, and then as they just began to get to know each other better and more, they just decided to take it another step. And
I don't think anything wrong with it at all.
No, as far as anything being wrong with it, I don't see anything wrong with it whatsoever.
I had a friend in high school and dated the same guy all through high school. Our senior year, their parents were both single, started dating, got engaged, and got married. So now, when you're a senior in high school, I can see.
Yeah, that's going to be weird.
That's like breakup city, right? But
now especially if you're all living in the same house.
I'm dating my stepbrother.
Right, exactly, living in the same house. But now, listen, you guys, this couple has every holiday on lock.
Yeah.
One Christmas, one Thanksgiving,
no divorced
one
parents.
birthday party, one this, no in-laws, no others. This right here would have been a dream
That's a
for me
win-win.
growing up. Y'all,
Yep.
don't feel weird. Take it as a win.
Yeah.
So, my mother had 3 children when she married my dad. My mother and my dad had 2 children, okay? So one of the older siblings, when he started dating this girl in Morgan City, was my father's cousin. So his Uncle Melvin was dating his cousin, but there was no blood. There was no blood there because his stepdaddy was her cousin. So, but you used to get a lot of teasing about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That he's dating his cousin.
So when I was shortly after Casey and I got married, I had went back down to East Texas to my Aunt Edith and Uncle Mason's 50th anniversary. Mm-hmm. And while I was there, Uncle Mason has a niece on the other side, and her name is, well, we called her Ronnie. Her name is Veronica, and one of the best singers I've ever heard in my life. And she was like, how were both of us single at the same time and never dated or any? I was like, I'm not really sure. And my cousin Mary's standing there. Now, Mary is a cousin to me and to her. And she said, y'all couldn't date, y'all are cousins. I said, no, we're cousins. We're not cousins.
Yeah.
And so Ronnie looks at her and says, why are you getting in the middle of my happiness?
Don't be blowing this up, man.
But it would have been weird because Ronnie was like my cousin growing up because we were always together.
Well, you know, cousins in the South is okay.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time.
Listen, do not date your cousin.
No, do not date. I'm just okay.
Second or third.
Thanks, Amanda.
Okay.
Third. Second is a little.
Second too close still?
It is to
third.
me.
Yeah.
Third is.
Okay. So I had so her granddad was my uncle.
I don't even know what that would be.
I don't know what that would be. So her mother would have been my cousin.
So then she's like second cousin.
Or once removed or one over that.
Cousin,
someone explained that once removed thing to me one time before, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
But at any rate, we had a summer of love. You know, we were 14 and all of us hung out together.
We've all had those.
Yeah.
I had.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't love in the literal sense, like the
No.
biblical. We just were kids and had
Yeah.
fun.
Just kissing.
We just kissed a little bit.
Yeah. Asked if I could see. No, never mind. I, in fact, did not ask if I could see
Depends on
anything.
what is.
That's right. Dear Sandy and Boomer, I never thought I would be the guy to write one of these letters, but here we are. I'm a divorced man in my late 40s with a daughter in her mid-20s. She recently moved back closer to home and has been bringing some of her friends around from time to time. One of these friends has been stopping by pretty regularly. At first, it was just normal stuff. She'd come by, we'd watch a little game on the TV or whatever. Over time, we've started talking more when my daughter isn't around. One thing has led to another, and now we've started seeing each other privately. Before you say it, yes, I know how this sounds. She's an adult, and so am I. Neither of us feel like we're doing anything wrong. The problem is my daughter has no idea this is going on. If she found out, I'm almost certain she'd feel betrayed or embarrassed.
Well, then don't do it.
I don't want to hurt her or damage my relationship with her, but also don't want to walk away from something that feels real. So here's my question. Do I come clean and risk blowing up my relationship with my daughter, or quietly end things before anyone gets hurt? Signed, walking a very thin line.
I say quietly end things. Or if you feel like your daughter would be understanding, but you said that, you have suspicion that she would not like it.
Here's my thing. If
Don't
a
date my
relationship,
friends.
if it's worth pursuing, it's worth being honest about.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
consequences will be what they'll be. And I just wonder, and I don't know this from what the person wrote, I just wonder if he says this feels real because she's 20-something.
Well,
Yeah.
I wasn't
You're
going to say
40-something.
that, but
Yeah.
the age,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're saying is it feels good to have a young woman like that on your arm
Of
or whatever.
course.
And I get it. I'm 14 years older than my wife. Now, there's an old rule that half your age plus 7 is the youngest you should ever date. So I'm 54. So 27 would be half of that. Plus 7 is 34. I'm going to be real honest with you. I could never see me dating a 34-year-old
Right now.
right now.
No.
We just have nothing in common.
No.
No.
Zero.
Different eras.
Yeah. My wife is 40. And there are still times where I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's right.
And she goes, huh?
You were in kindergarten then.
She
Never
goes,
mind.
huh?
Yeah. That's so. It is what it is. If you want to continue to do that, I think you do need to come clean. But I'm kind of leaning your way, Boomer. I think it's probably, hey, enjoy it while it lasts, but don't get so emotionally invested in it.
Yeah, when your daughter comes back home, just say,
Listen,
hey.
haven't you watched any of these movies? Seriously, go on Netflix. These movies
They never end
exist
well.
all the time. They never end well. Never.
Never.
So
Yeah.
just end it,
Yeah.
dude. Just quietly end it and don't do this again. Stay away from your daughter's friends. That should not be your dating pool, no matter how cool they
That's
are.
cringe.
That's cringe. I'm sorry. I was over here getting the ick and
Yeah, it
the
is an
cringe
ick feel, I guess.
that dad is dating one of his daughter's friends. That's gross.
That
Sorry,
is.
dude.
Now,
Can't do it.
dating is one thing. If y'all are just physically meeting each other's needs, do what you do, boo.
No, I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum, but I don't, no shame there. But here's the thing. It still shouldn't be the pond that you're fishing in when
To start with.
your daughter's friends are hanging out at your house. There's a power dynamic that exists there.
Question. What kind of issues does this girl have that makes this nearly
correct.
50-year-old guy?
Correct.
Now,
And maybe or maybe not. She just may
She
be
may not.
immature. Because I'm married to somebody 10 years older, and I've always dated older because I'm more mature. May or may not. But also, I mean, do you really think she's ready to,
Right, yeah.
like
yeah, let's take this to the obvious next step here.
Play it out.
Are you ready for her to be the stepmom to your daughter?
Ooh, she's how old? 24?
She's 20-something.
Same age as your daughter.
Yeah, basically same age as his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, that never ends well.
No.
No,
No.
You're gonna ruin her friend's friendship. It's not gonna just mess up one relationship. It's gonna mess up your relationship with your daughter, the daughter's relationship with the friend, and then the one that you're trying to have.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's
I
3
say
relationships.
big
definitely,
no.
Yeah, definitely agree. Let's take a break.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You
We'll do
gotta,
that.
gotta sell some more stuff.
Yeah, I got to sell more stuff, man. Everybody wants to get paid for some reason.
Yeah, they do.
So, we are going to take a break. We'll be back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
32 years ago, a young Robert Rushing began his life of public service joining the El Dorado Fire Department. While saving lives during the day, Robert Rushing put himself through college and law school at night, eventually opening a law practice in 2010 to protect and serve the rights of people in South Arkansas. By the way, he was still working as a fireman at the time. And after 23 years of service, Robert Rushing answered the call again and was elected as city attorney. Today, Robert Rushing still has that desire to serve. Re-elect Robert Rushing as El Dorado city attorney.
So you guys are just like State Farm, right?
We barely cover boats by the dock.
Why barely?
You get what you pay for. Our bike coverage leaves out a lot.
I don't have a bike.
Can we just get some momentum on the song? Oh, I'm going. There's damage to your home on this block. We won't make things right, cause filing a claim is tough.
Can't I just do it in an app or call an agent?
No luck. Here comes the best part. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, you're living on a prayer. Oh, my butt cheek.
Should have gone with State Farm.
When it comes to your family's financial future, peace of mind matters. At Harrison Financial Management, they are right here to help you plan, grow, and protect what matters most. Whether you're planning for retirement, investing wisely, or securing your family's future, they will guide you every step of the way. Harrison Financial Management, your future, their commitment.
Bad things happen, and of course, they never happen at the right time. Maybe it's just a little bump and cosmetic damage, or it's turned into a huge insurance claim and you just don't know where to go next. That's why so many of your neighbors and friends call on Cook's Body Shop in El Dorado. From the minor to the major, Cook's Body Shop is in your corner. Need someone to help you deal with insurance? Look to Cook's. Need advice on what to do next? Look to Cook's. Need a free estimate? Look to Cook's. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's.
Rated the #1 course in Arkansas by Golf Week, Mystic Creek is truly a hidden gem, complemented by a modern clubhouse, complete with panoramic views. It also features a fully stocked pro shop and Mystic Grill, serving contemporary American cuisine and Southern classics. Mystic Creek promises an unforgettable experience.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch. And man, I hear it.
Yeah,
I can breathe
it's
fine.
rattling in your head.
I can breathe just fine. But now I had to do that. What's that? It comes out the neti pot or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you know, that seems like it wouldn't be good, but that's the best thing ever.
Put salt water up your sinuses. Yeah.
I feel so much better
As
after
soon as
I
I
do
do-
that.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. As soon as I get done, I'm like, oh my gosh, that feels
It's
so
a
good.
relief.
Hey,
Yeah.
have you ever seen the Navage? It's the whole thing,
Is
the
it-
system.
yeah.
Now, I've had people tell me, you like a neti pot? Boy, you'd life changing to get a
Really?
use that thing.
Yeah.
So you might
Circulates on
Write that
circulates
down.
on your
Might have
sinuses.
to
Yeah.
might have to put that in my Amazon wish cart.
Yep.
You know, so, yeah, I figured out a couple things about my Amazon. I've had that Amazon since like 2005,
Okay.
and so I'll be saying I need to buy a this or a that, and I can't get it locally. I guess I'm just going to have to order it. And Casey, well, check on Amazon. And sure enough, I find it and I put it in the cart. Well, there's also a couple other things in the cart that, well, I was going to get those at some point. She knows I'm just going to hit the check box on it and get those too. She plays me like a fiddle, Boomer. She does me like you do. Just has me doing her bidding.
Well, the other night, I like poncho shirts. Have you seen that line of shirts yet? And I've got one, and they're expensive. They're like
I have one, yeah.
$95, some of them $105. So, you know, now on my Facebook, it comes up poncho every just few times that you scroll. And I said, boss, you would like another poncho shirt. You know, I'm playing her. She says, go ahead, get you one. I said, oh, man. I said, them things are so expensive. She says, Daddy, what? You don't want to? She says, get you 3 of them. Ooh.
What?
Go on then, fruit.
So if you buy 2, you get a gift. You get a free gift with poncho.
Okay.
And it's nice. It's either a hat or a T-shirt or a poncho keychain or, a bottle opener. I don't need those. But so I chose the hat. Well, I didn't know after 3 you get another free gift.
Oh.
So I got a free hat, and it kind of looks like these, and a shirt and a T-shirt to go with my 3 poncho shirts.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Played you like a fiddle, Fru. That's what he did.
No, she just like, I don't. She was feeling very generous. I got to, you know what? I got to be watching what's coming up through the UPS truck because she may have ordered something big too. Oh, go ahead, baby. Just order you something.
She'll feel guilty now about her purchase.
That's a lady thing.
That is a lady thing.
That is a lady thing.
Yeah, I used to go home and I'd say, "What did the freaking FedEx ferry throw up on my porch? What's going on?" I mean, it's just like wham.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you, you can't buy anything from Martha and use our debit card. She checks that. She's on that bank statement 2 or 3 times a day. She'll call me up and says, "What was this $8.97 for?" I said, "I just got some breakfast, okay?" She goes, "I was just wondering." So it didn't. She said, I knew McDonald's is not on your way to work. I said, "Oh my Lord, I'm getting
but
checked."
Percy's is.
Percy's is.
Man, I love a biscuit from Percy's.
Percy's biscuits are still good, and
out on Iron Mountain Road.
Out on Iron Mountain Road, biscuit store.
That's what everybody calls it, the biscuit store.
And Rex, the older gentleman, passed.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, here a while back, and man, you'd come in there some mornings and they'd be making 300 of them for one of the plants or something.
Wow.
And but anyway.
I've called them before and said, "Hey, I need 30 of those tomorrow morning." They're like, "Okay,
yeah, no problem." And so his son now is doing son and daughter and daughter-in-law, and they used to cook a lot of lunches and all that. And it was good lunches, and we'd get we're doing a commercial for them.
Yeah.
On Fridays we'd get the fish plate. Oh man, it's just good stuff out at Percy's.
So I walked in there one time. It's been several years ago. It's 2018, 2019. I was having a banner year for deer hunting that year. I think I got 5 that year. And I walked in there one morning and I said, "Look, I'm hungry. I've been chasing deer all morning, hauling them out of the woods." And I said, "All I got is a 50. Is that okay?" And the lady was like, "Absolutely."
Absolutely.
And I saw him look over back and he was shaking his head, yeah. And so, I ended up getting like $46 in change. And she said, "Well, we have X amount of grandkids." And she said, "Our thing is we give every one of them a $50 bill. Oh. And normally we go throughout the year and we by
collect
the time
it by the 50s.
By the time it gets Christmas, we've got just enough." She said, I was telling him just the other day, he said, "Ooh, we're going to come across some 50s pretty soon because we're still a few short." She said, "So now we got another one we add." And that's why he was in there shaking his head, nodding, "Yeah, I'll take a 50. Yeah.
Well, you can still buy a Coke or a milk or something, but as far as convenience store stuff, there's not much in there.
Not much there.
There's one little aisle of just a few little things.
Yeah.
But it's mostly the fast food, the
grill
that they're using. Because at 1 o'clock, they're gone, man. At 1 or 2 o'clock, they're gone.
The lunch rush, they go.
Yeah.
If it takes that long, yeah.
And anyway,
like my wife and I, sometimes, very rare, she'll be off work, and since my office is at my house, she'll walk in there and say, "What do you think about, would you run a townhouse and get us?" I'm like, "You better believe it. Listen, you don't have to say any more than townhouse, and I'll be on my way."
Done.
And
there's not a lot of places to sit anymore.
No, there's no place to sit there, so you just had to get it to go.
No, you can sit. They took the tables out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you just get it to go.
I always get it to go, and someone else gets it.
Yeah.
So I hadn't been there forever.
But it's, still great food.
Oh, my word, yep.
So the other day, it's been a couple weeks ago, she said something about townhouse. I said, "Well, what do they have today?" And she told me a meatloaf and this and this and this, fried chicken, baked chicken, liver and onions or something. I don't remember. And I said, "What are you going to get?" She said, "I'm going to get the meatloaf." I said, "Why don't you get the meatloaf and the side that you want? And then I'll just eat the greens and the lima beans or whatever it was." I said, "I'm really not that hungry. If I eat from the townhouse, I won't eat again today. That's my whole thing. If I eat lunch at townhouse, I'm done for the day. I won't eat tonight."
Full. Oh, yeah.
if anything, I'll just be grazing by 11 o'clock tonight. But I'm like, so won't you get that? And I'll get the greens and the lima beans. And she's like, what about the cornbread? I said, well, tell them to put an extra one on there because I want one of these. That's the whole reason.
I want my hot water cornbread.
Yeah.
I was telling people, some of my friends in Minnesota, about the townhouse and how I would love to have a place like that in Austin. And I said, and really it's only because the hot water cornbread is so good. I can taste it right now.
Yeah.
I can just think about it.
Now,
and
do they know what
taste
hot
it.
water cornbread is?
Hell no.
No,
They don't
I
know.
didn't think so.
No, they
Those
don't
people
know.
eat fish. And I'm not talking about fried.
Okay, let me tell you, when I showed up to the first potluck at work, it was, okay, they're telling me what all this stuff is. And it's, okay, tater tot hot dish. See, I can't even do the accent.
Oh, you're doing it great, actually.
Tater tot hot dish. This is the da. But they call everything a hot dish. They don't say casserole.
Yeah.
And and when I saw the tater tot hot dish, I was like, oh no.
Y'all don't know how to make this.
No, friends.
I have a hard time eating at potlucks anyway.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
No.
Because some people, I've seen the inside of your car.
Yep.
And if your car looks like that, I don't even imagine what your kitchen looks like.
Yep, I got you. But yeah, so they got me a, because they were laughing at me. I'm like, what's a hot dish? What's a hot dish? You know? And so the next day they brought me a quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes, a hot dish pan in the shape of Minnesota. And then it has every town, big city with their most famous.
Their dish
and ours, of course, is like
spam.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
A hot dish.
Hot dish.
Yeah.
I can't. I will. That is the one thing I will not lose. My Southern accent
keep that.
will not go away. Matter of fact, I probably put it on a whole lot more up there.
Yeah.
I would be walking down the hall at the office, just talking. People would pop their heads out of, hey, I heard you. I heard your voice. So we're the only people in town that sound like this.
But there used to be a young lady who was on The Buzz in Little Rock in the morning. This was prior to Tommy Smith taking the morning show. And she had a British accent. I met her, and her British accent was so just barely there. And I'm like, wait a minute. When you're on air, and she's like, I have to put that on.
Oh,
She puts
yeah.
on
a little bit.
She said it's kind of my shtick, and I was like, I get it, but I just surprised me. And she said it would be the same thing if you were in the UK. She said your inner Texan would come out way more, and she said you just because that's entertaining to people.
Exactly.
And I thought about it, and I was like, I enjoyed hearing her because of her accent. And her, they would ask her different stuff, and she'd like, oh, we call that a lolly, or we call that a whatever. And chips. And but when I thought about it, I was like, how would I feel if I were over there and they were all just gawking at me all the time because they're like, what's a brisket? Boy, what'd you like to know? Y'all missed out.
When we first, when we lived in Bentonville, we moved into this new neighborhood, a new build right at the beginning of COVID, like right at shutdown. And there was only a couple of houses on the block. The people that were in the house across the street from us had just moved down from Des Moines. They became our best friends. 3 kids. All of our children are the same ages. We've become very close. They moved to Minnesota as well. They followed us to Austin. And when we first met them, Shane, Shane's dad worked for Lionel for, years and years and years, and his grandpa and all of that. And so we kept talking about Lionel. You hear how it says? So Allison, who's a little bit of an airhead, she finally turns to her husband and goes, is he saying like Lionel Richie? They were so confused that they had no idea what we were talking about. And I have experienced that. And let it go on for a long time until we were like, so there are a few of those times where I've had nobody, I say oil, they're like, what are you talking about? What?
Oil. It's not oil, it's all.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah, Paul
Lionel-
Starr.
Paul
We used
Starr.
to get Paul Starr to say oil, and it was aisle. Because he's from New England originally, and so it was different.
So I met some guys from Green Bay they have the same type of fabricating shop that we had here at Mid-States. So they knew some of the guys from Mid-States that hunted with us. So we went to Green Bay a few times, and then I got to go once. And then they would come down to South Arkansas every year because they wanted to hunt in flooded timber. That is the ultimate of duck hunting, is to see the ducks come down through the trees. And their thing was, holy cow, man.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Everything is not a wow or gosh darn. It was holy cow.
Yeah.
And they were just so fun to be around.
Yep.
Micah went, I think it's when she went to Costa Rica. She come back and she's like, I met these guys from Alaska. And she said, did you know in Alaska they have warnings for everything? She said, here we get a flash flood warning, thunderstorm warning, tornado warning. She said they have warnings for volcanoes, earthquakes, polar bear attacks.
No.
Polar bears have come to town.
Or bear attacks or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But she's like, they have warnings for everything. And we would be just sitting there in the living room late at night, and she would just start giggling. And I was like, what? She said, oh, my friends from Alaska. We're talking,
cool.
They'd be having some conversation, So
that's cool.
Those Alaska people. But, we had Micah on with us back around Christmas. She came on, and Christmas Eve, as a matter of fact, she was on the podcast with us, and she was like, one of the things for her was everybody in Tulsa talks about Tulsa, such a small town, and she's like, whatever. She said, I've been back in El Dorado for less than 24 hours, and I've run into 2 people I graduated high school with and my grandmother.
Right.
All within the last few hours. She said, I have never seen anyone from my law school outside of law school. I've never just bumped into them at the store.
Anyone,
or any of that. She's like, Tulsa's not a small town.
Yeah.
A million people.
Yeah.
By the way, in the metro, a million people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that big.
And Oklahoma City is, by mass, the largest city in the United States by land mass.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because you can drive. In fact, when I stayed or partially lived in Oklahoma City, I lived in Edmond and would drive down to where Norman is, to where the university is, and it would take you almost an hour to get there, and you were never out of town.
Oh,
It's like
wow.
Houston.
Yeah, Houston is
You can be
forever.
3 hours and never leave
Forever.
Houston. So,
Wow.
Yeah. Have you ever heard, of Santa Fe, Houston,
Santa Fe, Texas? Yes.
And Wilcox is right next to Santa Fe.
Okay.
And that's where I was. And I said, how close are we to the guy that was putting on the event? I said, how close are we to the Gulf? He said, well, right there is about a mile. He said, to get there, you got to go around. He said, but I said, well, that's why I'm seeing seagulls. They were just flying everywhere. But anyway,
Santa Fe, Texas became famous for, there was a lawsuit that came out of there.
Not Wilcox.
I was going to say Hitchcock. I know where,
Yeah.
Santa Fe, Texas became famous for a lawsuit in the 90s where after a ball game, the 2 teams would come out together in the middle of the field and all take a knee. And so someone in the Santa Fe School District sued the district over that.
For them preying on.
Yeah, and it went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And so that was, at that time, Santa Fe, Texas's claim to fame was, we stopped school prayer on the football field.
You can, as long as there's tests in school,
there's going to be prayers.
You're never going to stop prayers in school.
I don't think anyone has a problem with prayer in school. I think they have a problem with organizing prayer in school.
Yeah,
is what the issue,
that's it. Yeah,
Correct.
what the issue becomes.
Well, because if you're all for prayers, Christian prayers in school, well then
you got to be all for everybody's
prayers. For all of them. So
That's
let's lay mats out 5 times a day and bow to Mecca and
have to honor everyone.
Let's have a Zen garden and all the Buddhists, and next thing you know, you're not getting anything done in the classroom all day because we're all too busy praying.
Yep.
So,
but let me tell you, I bet all of them little kids don't. I know how it was when it was like, it's time to get up and go to church on Sunday when you're a little kid. I don't know. Anyway.
Amanda, I have some questions, and we ask these questions a lot of our guests, and I'll give you my answer to a lot of
Okay.
these, so it'll give you time to think, because I'm just throwing them at you on the fly.
Yeah, let's go.
What's the dumbest injury you've ever had?
Oh, I've had so many dumb injuries. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? One that just happened recently. Okay, first dumb injury. Roller skating here at the roller skating rink to see if maybe we wanted to have a roller skating birthday for Preston Miles when he was young. And I fell, caught myself on an outstretched arm, dislocated, and broke my elbow.
Broke your elbow?
Yeah, dumb. I have hurt my tailbone so bad I can't walk. Literally, the only dumb bone I haven't broken is like my collarbone, like things you can't do anything for. So about a month or two ago, I broke my foot.
Oh.
And yeah, it was not good. So
there's nothing they can do for a broke foot.
winter too.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing they could do for it. So those are all dumb injuries that
I
I've
broke
had.
my foot one time saving Cam in some rapids.
Well, see, that's valiant.
Yeah.
That's you have a good story.
We're all floating, and for whatever reason, the river goes this way, but Cam's tube kept going this way. I have the cooler in a tube tied to my tube. And so when I see Cam's going this way, I'm watching. Well, it's fast. He freaked out. He was little. He was 7, 8 years old. He's freaked out, and he grabs a limb. Well, that's the worst thing you can do. If he'd just let go, he could have just went through. But he grabs a limb, and now he's taking on water. And so I start paddling my little tube over there to him. And about the time I get to him, my tube that had the cooler on it has went the normal way with everybody else.
Yeah.
And now this tether is like, it's bobbing, and it's pulling me under. Oh, gosh. I have a hold of him, and I'm telling him, don't freak out, okay? I got you. There's nothing going to happen to me and you, okay? I got you. Don't freak out. So he's calm, but now I'm trying to get off these logs that he's up against, and I have the tube pulling me one way and the water pushing me against it, and the only thing I could do is just keep pushing with my foot to get off of them, and I pushed so hard it broke it. It broke my foot, and I felt it. I felt it.
Correct.
As soon as it happened.
As soon as it happened, and so we get back to our tubes. We go on we catch up with everybody. Like, everybody okay? Yeah. And I said, I think I broke my foot. And they're like, okay. Well, when we get to where we get out, and it's purple and puffed up, and they're like, oh, yeah, you broke it.
Yeah, you broke it.
Yeah, you broke it.
Like up on the top of the foot?
It was like,
one of
the
those.
same thing I did.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do for that.
No.
There's no cast you can put on that.
No.
They put me in a little walking shoe,
Boot shoe.
just to give me, and that was it. Yeah, no, mine, it was just, I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and we had moved into we've been doing some remodeling, so we moved into a new room, and I just didn't have it memorized, and, jammed my foot into something and broke it. So every one of these dumb injuries has no cool story behind it.
The dumbest injury I think I ever had was I pulled a muscle in my ribs sneezing. I messed around and sneezed too fast. I didn't stretch ahead of time.
Right.
I was sitting on the railing at your grandmother's house in Doylean, and I decided I was going to hold on to it and flip over backwards off of it and just be in the grass back there. Well, when I flipped backwards, I caught my back of my skull on the edge of the cement porch.
No.
And it, I'm telling you, gushed blood for a long time. And your mother was holding it all. She says,
gosh.
we got to go to the doctor. I said, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Well, we went to some of our friends' wedding that night, and she's got a napkin on the back of my, holding me to keep it.
He didn't want to come. Look, she made him come.
Look how hard he tried to get out of this.
Oh my word, that's the dumbest one I've ever done. Now I broke my thumb in baseball practice as catcher because my friend wanted to steal home and show me he could steal home, and I was going to knock him out, and so I had my hand on the ball, and when he hit it, it broke my thumb, and so we both felt pretty stupid at practice.
I broke my arm in a softball game.
Yeah, got hit.
Steve Harrell was giving me the stink eye.
Got hit by a line drive.
Man, that was. And when it hit my arm, it cracked. And everybody, even the guy who hit the ball stops.
They heard it.
And heard it. And I picked the ball and threw him out. And everybody's like, you all right? I said, I think so, And
it
then
was this arm, though, wasn't it? You fielding?
Yeah, my fielding arm. And so then after a minute, I'm like, you know what? somebody come take my spot. And I went and sat in the dugout. And Boomer was in the dugout, and I looked over and I said, hey,
I think we need to
you
go.
think you can take me to the emergency room? He's like, yeah. I was like, I think I need to go. And he's like, okay. So we get there, and whatever the doctor's name was, he's like, your hand is very blue. Yeah, sure is. Yeah, right off the arm there.
Yeah.
I was okay until they came in to x-ray it. And then they start grabbing my arm and moving
That's
it.
the problem.
And I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
I'm broke.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's hurting. So they come in. They said, we will give you something for pain. No problem. They give me a shot. An hour and a half later, I'm crawling the walls. It's hurting. And so he says, you should not be in this much pain. I said, yet here I am. And so they gave me a second shot. And I lost an entire day of the week.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I woke up the next day. I called my dad, and I was like, hey, thought I'd let you know I broke my arm last night. He said, again? I was like, again? He's like, yeah, you called me yesterday and told me you broke your arm. I said, well, I couldn't have called you yesterday, Daddy, because it happened last night. And he said,
Nope.
No? He said, you called me yesterday and told me it happened Tuesday night. I said, well, what is today? He said, Thursday.
Thursday.
I said, oh, hell, where did Wednesday go? To this moment, I still have no recollection of where Wednesday went.
Yeah.
A whole day.
I had that before. Yeah.
I'm like, no clue.
That's what, when they give you that Dilaudid, you just don't remember anything. That gave me, whichever broke injury or something I had, it created a gap. There's just a little gap in that
Normally
time period.
Crown Royal does that for me, too.
Well, I mean, it'd be tequila for me.
So, been going to Ortho, Arkansas, and getting pain, different types of things they do. And when they're prepping you, they tell you what they give you is going to cause some amnesia. So, I said, I didn't even pay attention to that. So the doctor comes in post-procedure, and so I started asking him questions about what we're going to do. And he goes, Troy, we're already done. I went, no. He goes, yeah. I said, I don't remember anything from being right here to being back here again. He says, told you.
Yeah.
So he said they give you something at first, and then they actually gave me fentanyl. Of course, they knew what they was doing. I went, hold up, I've never taken, but they know the right dosage.
It's different when you know what you're doing.
You know what you're doing.
You're not just getting a street amount.
So anyway,
throw a little baby powder with it.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
right.
just throw a little bit on there.
Cut it with some baby powder. It'll be okay. What's something people were convinced would be the future that completely disappeared? So for me, I was thinking about that. Hologram televisions. Like when you saw Star Wars and they would hologram people, and you could have a conversation. I mean, we can FaceTime, but hologramming is just not a normal thing yet. Not yet. I would have thought when I was a little kid in the 70s, I would have thought, by 2026, we're going to have hologram televisions.
I always thought, I'd have to think about it now, but as a kid, I thought, well, surely by the 2020s or 2000, we'll be flying cars.
Yep.
That's what I thought too.
Everyone has, and we still yet to fly cars on a regular basis. But I see how some people drive. Hell, I don't want them
I
flying.
don't want them in
car.
the air. I'm good.
Yeah. At least on a road, they have a general idea of where they're supposed to go. If you just let them through the air, they can knock off a tree in your neighborhood.
I can't tell you, every day I go to work on Iron Mountain Road, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a curve and someone zipped past me going 70 miles an hour, and this is what I see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Scares the fool out of me.
I'm
going
gonna tell you,
in a curve. I'm saying, oh my gosh. And hey, there's in times past when I've been guilty of it, but I put it down now, especially because,
I do too.
Yeah. So
put them down, folks.
You can do everything hands free. You don't need your
You
phone.
don't need your phone.
If somebody sends you a text message, it can wait, or it can read it out loud to you. I mean,
most cars,
most your phone, you can just say, "Read me that text."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can say, "Alexa, read me that text."
What's the worst job you've ever had? You don't have to say a place, because I'm not going to say the place, but it was one radio station I worked at.
Yeah, I have never had
a bad
job. I think, it is what you make it.
Yeah, a lot of times it is.
Sometimes there are people that make a place bad. That happens.
Yeah.
But You know,
Like they make
for
up
me,
stories
it's-
about you and lie
yeah.
about you behind your back and start a
Yep.
whisper campaign, and it kills a 20-year friendship and an 8.5-year. Oh, sorry, never mind. Wait,
Wow.
well, never mind.
Well, just go ahead.
No, I'm
you need
good.
to
I
get
got
that
it
off-
all out.
Got it all out. You know, when I first went to Oklahoma, the company that we had that we started, and it was just me. There were times when I was up on rigs and it was cold and wet, and I'm staying there all night, and I'm thinking, "Oh my
I got
gosh,
a music degree. What the hell am I doing here?
What if I'm
Why
doing
am I
here?"
in the weather?
But anyway, yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I look back at it romantically now, but
Oh, yeah, of
in
course.
the moment when it's blowing sideways, 17 degrees.
That's like
and-
on them billboards. I look at that romantically too. But I'm going to tell you something. When it's February and it's election season, and all them ads have been sold,
Yep.
and you've already collected the money, and that billboard isn't working, and you're up there while it's sleeting, and you're every
Oh,
8
yeah,
seconds
on
hitting
your
next.
billboard.
You got a laptop plugged in up there hitting next,
So you
so
still
the
gonna
ads will
play?
play, and you have to do that for hours upon hours upon hours in the sleet. Yeah, it's all of a sudden owning a billboard isn't that great anymore than digital
Wow.
billboards.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. What's something you believed as a kid that you later realized was ridiculous? For me, it was quicksand. I was so scared as a kid. They had me believing that quicksand was around every corner.
Yeah, there was quicksand
You can't
everywhere.
even get off the
Right.
sidewalk in Houston, and there could be quicksand,
Yeah, it could be.
and you can't fight it to get out of it. You just got to be still and hope
Yeah.
somebody comes along.
Lay flat.
Well, that's a really hard one because I don't, you know,
I don't think I have one.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of those things, but I want to pick something kind of light and not heavy. You know,
I said last week I used to think I was going to get offered drugs on the way home from school every day.
'Cause
And you
the
know,
way
by the time I got old enough where I wanted to do drugs, I had to go buy them. Nobody
Yeah,
offered
nobody
them to me.
offers
There
you
was no one
drugs.
saying, "Hey, kid, come here."
Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy wasn't there.
I had to go to these sketchy places in sketchy parts of town
and buy it.
and buy it.
that okay. Here's something that's serious but light, and I think some young women probably fall into this. That it's, you know, someday some man is just going to come along
And sweep you off your
and
feet.
sweep me off my feet and put me up in that big house and take care of me. And that's, you have that Princess
That
Cinderella
fantasy type.
that's going to come true one day. And I mean, how ridiculous is that?
For most girls, it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
that
It
way.
doesn't happen.
doesn't
You know
happen.
what?
And it doesn't happen like
Hey,
on Pretty Woman either.
be your own white knight.
That's
There.
right.
There you
Save
go.
yourself.
There you
Take
go.
care of yourself.
You have to love you before you can love anyone
yourself.
else. It's be in tune with your star player,
Right?
as Cat Williams would say.
I love that. Be in tune with your style.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got one person you're supposed to be in tune with. That's you.
That's right.
Cat Williams been singing on a lot of folks lately.
Yeah,
He's not as popular as he was with the.
Oh,
with
he's
the-
very popular, but he's not as well liked.
with his constituency.
Yeah, he's been telling some stuff, and that's okay. You
Yeah.
know what?
The truth will set you free.
I hadn't seen one person come out and call him a liar.
Yeah,
Not one time has anyone come out and said that's a lie.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have known nothing about. We would have heard whispers about Diddy.
Yeah.
But we would know nothing if Cat Williams had went on Shannon Sharp's podcast and spilled the tea.
He did.
That's where that all started.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
And then look what that unfolded. Dozens and dozens and dozens of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
A real sickness going on there.
you know, for all the ills a community has, crime, whether it's petty thefts or major thefts, litter, unemployment, for every ill that is in a community, the ones you never know about, the sex trafficking, the child
Oh,
trafficking,
Lord,
it
yes.
happens everywhere.
It really does.
It happens everywhere. I just saw the other day where the Attorney General for Arkansas, they just arrested 30-something people for sex trafficking.
Exactly.
And it was all in Hot Springs.
It was.
And
Hot Springs.
Hot
Yes.
Springs. And,
Hot Springs County.
moly.
oh, was it Hot Springs
Yeah.
County?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Malvern.
Yeah.
Even worse, it's in Malvern.
Malvern?
Right. But it happens everywhere, and we don't know about it. You know, it's just like when someone in the community, you know, gets arrested on child pornography, like they live right down the road from me. How did I not know? We also don't know about the child trafficking, the sex trafficking, because it happens everywhere.
It sure
And
does.
Cat Williams has been calling it out.
He has.
Hey.
And kudos to him.
There is, this is just side note, but this is a very, very important issue to me that I try to It's one of the issues that we help with. Right, we advocate for. There is an app that if you travel a lot, when you stay in a hotel room, you can take pictures of the hotel room, put it in this app, and it helps for when they are advertising these young women. Sometimes there's things in the hotel to help identify hotels with. I can't think of the name of it, but I always tried to do that when I was traveling.
We had a former FBI agent, field supervisor, come on the podcast with us a couple of times now.
Yeah,
Such a super guy. Man, just first of all, he's just in love with Jesus.
Yeah,
the guy just loves Jesus, and but secondly, the work he did
from Minden. He's the guy from Minden.
And sex trafficking, child trafficking, the work he was doing out there. He told me, he said, Sandy, there's just things I can never unsee. And I get it.
You have to be, as a parent, I thought I had done everything possible to keep my children safe online, and I realized the only thing that I could have done to keep them safe is not ever give them the darn thing to begin with.
Not let them be online.
Because, every single one of them have been targeted.
Our rule at our house is wait till 8. No phone until you're in 8th grade, at least.
Yes, we kept it till my youngest doesn't even have a phone. She's got an iPad, but you can't talk.
Right. So that's, the princess and His Royal Highness, they both have Fire tablets, but they are choked down and locked down so much. They're all the time bringing to me and saying, Daddy won't let me watch Netflix, So I have to put in the code, I can't let them see it.
My kids are smarter than me.
Oh, well, mine are too, but they just don't know it yet.
They're so much smarter than me. It's like they have, of course, oh my gosh, I'm saying the thing. My children have advanced me on technology and security and all of that. And if they really want it, heck, my Brookie, she was shopping on Amazon on my TV, ordering what are those expensive dolls that are big that have
My Life
dolls and all the big, stuff that goes with them. Before I knew it, she had figured out, hacked it, got into the TV where she could buy all that stuff on Amazon.
When she was little, got online and had an Instagram. What did she do? She had made herself signed up for it and was communicating with people and had just punched. Don't you remember that?
Yeah.
You were telling me about it.
I don't even remember. She just
at like 5 or 6.
I don't know why I thought that was Maddox that had done that. Okay.
No, now Maddox knew Amy's code. He was sneaky enough to stand over her and watch.
She wanted an Instagram. She wanted to look on Instagram, and so she created an Instagram account. But to do that, you got to have an email account. Girl went and got herself a Gmail account and just figured it all out.
And then Amanda wanted to get in it and take it down.
Yeah,
well, she didn't know any of the passwords.
She's like, "What are the passwords?" She goes, "I don't know. I just made it up."
Just punched some stuff in. At like 5.
This was very young.
So. 6-8 months ago, my wife looks at me and says, that boy cannot get on the Alexa. We have an Alexa show, the one with the screen.
The screen, yeah.
She said, he can't get on there anymore. I'm like, why? She said, there's a $219 charge on my card.
Well, see, that's what my children were doing.
And I'm like, what now? Hold on. And she's like, I've already talked to the bank, and they gave me the IP address, and they said that IP address is your house. The charge was made in your house. Now, if you're telling us you didn't make that charge,
we can scream story.
We can dispute it, but that charge was made
in your house,
in your home.
Yeah,
and so she's like, and I saw him the other day. He was over there doing something, and she said, didn't worry about him charging anything. Well, that's not the first time he's done that. He actually signed up for Alexa to tell him nighttime stories one time. That's $5.99 a week.
Oh, yeah.
By the way. And I think she was about 8-10 weeks in before she figured out what it was. Because it's on your bill, it just shows up Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I told you, it's like the UPS fairy throws up on my porch, so she didn't know.
We got 2 Apple charges, $6.99 a month. We have no idea what they are. Marcia says, I don't know how to do that.
So she's like, she's beside herself, and she's like, I don't get paid till Friday. This gives me like $11, and I've got to get gas. And I'm like, look, I'll put some money in your account, okay? let's see if we can figure out what it is he's ordered. And so we're, for like 2 solid days, she's talking to people, I'm talking to people.
Y'all doing recon.
Oh, yeah, because we want that $219 back.
Yeah,
brother.
we're getting that money.
When there's only one person in the house getting
That's
a paycheck, you better believe it. So we're, trying to figure it out. And then somebody says something about CBS. And Casey's like, hold on. How much was that Paramount Plus subscription? And I'm like, well, hang on. I'm in front of the Roku. So I go over there and it's like, yeah, I just renewed the other day. $219.
There you go.
With tax. It was $219 or whatever the number was.
For the whole year.
So that poor baby got blamed. We just knew it was him.
No.
It was y'all.
And it was
renewal.
It was just a renewal on there.
Oh, crap. And that's when you have to go, oh, sorry.
Well, we had not said anything to him yet.
Good. Okay.
Which was amazing because normally it'd be like, hey, get in here, kid.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So a long time ago, I subscribed to Blaze TV because that's where Glenn Beck was and some other, podcasts that I wanted to watch. Well, Glenn Beck has started another one and left Blaze. He's got, I don't know what it's called now, but I said, I ain't joining that one and I'm going to cancel Blaze because, all those add up.
Yeah,
of course they do.
If it's a $5.99 or a $12 or whatever it is, they all add up.
So I feel like I have to sit down. I haven't done it in a minute, but I need to sit down and add up all of the streaming to see if I have come full circle back to I'm paying as much as I was with DirecTV before I cut the cord.
Yeah. Well, Sandy and I both signed up. We've got fiber everywhere in El Dorado now. So we both signed up for fiber, and mine is $50 a month.
Yep.
And
mine's said $37.50
for as long as you want it. And what happened is I think there's 3 different companies that you can buy it from now.
There are 3. I don't think all 3 of them are up going in every neighborhood yet, but there's 3.
So there's 3. So they came in and dug and used the boring machines and all that. So the one that came to my door, I thought it was the boring under but the one that came and sold me, they just hung it on the telephone, on the telephone poles, and now they dug it and had to dig it to my house,
to your house, right?
From my telephone pole back to the house. But I signed up for the wrong guys, but and it's like the same forever, and there's not going to be anything. So I called
1 gig down, 1 gig up. And to me, my biggest thing is I need upload speed. This podcast, for example, I've got to be able to upload.
Yeah.
So what used to a 3.5 hour podcast was taking me 3.5 to 4 hours to upload, just to upload to YouTube. And then the work starts, by the way. But everything in the house is locked down. Everything starts running slower because I'm using all the upload speed, right? Shoot, last week's podcast with Mark, it uploaded in 6 minutes and 51 seconds.
Wow.
Fast.
Super fast.
What company? Well,
AT&T.
AT&T did it?
Yeah. That's not who I plan to stay with because we do have TCW is a sponsor.
And Right Fiber is
and
also
then Right
one.
Fiber, they're currently, we're in negotiations with them about being a advertiser and sponsor for the show. So...
but my previous internet provider, when I talked to them, said, well, we could do this for this and this for this.
Yeah,
I said,
they did the same way.
I said, no, I just need, all I want is basic cable and I don't want anything else. Well, so you're going to lose your bundle this and bundle? I said, all I want is, I do not want internet. I do not want all the cable channels that I had with the ESPN and all. Basic cable's all I want. So that sucker screwed me royally. Now it's Steve. And my bill went from $90-something to $215 the next month.
Wow.
And so I go back and talk to him again, and the lady was very kind. I said, look, I said, I'm going to talk calmly, but don't take my kind manner as weakness. I said, because I have been royally screwed. And she goes, okay, well, I can fix that. And we went back and did all that. And I said, all right, now what about taking that bill off? She goes, unfortunately. I said, don't say unfortunately.
Don't tell me what you unfortunately can't do.
And they did, and said it was in a billing cycle that I was already in that billing cycle. So and I said, well, he screwed me because it's supposed to go down to $40-something, and it was $215. Anyway, long story short, for slower to get the faster speed prior to fiber, you had to they'd upgrade you, and it wound up being, because we're streaming stuff on the TV and all that, it wound up being $100 and something for cable. I mean, for internet, and then all your cable stuff. So it's really helped us.
When I went to switch, I called the cable company. I was like, hey, look, I've been a customer of y'all's for 20 years.
Yeah.
I've been paying you almost the same amount for 20 years. And I said, I figured it up. I said, I have paid y'all $390,000.
Had you really?
In 20 years.
Oh, God, I don't want to figure that up.
And I said, now, because I'm wanting to cancel, now you offer me a $50 a month internet package?
Yeah.
Piss on you.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I told him. I said, well, then why was it $90 before? He said, I can make your whole bill smaller than what I said, I don't want to do it.
So
then what's the real value?
Bingo. So the guy I'm talking to, his Hispanic guy, he's kind of a smart aleck, and he says, well, you're not going to find a deal any better than what I'm offering. I said, dude, I've already got a deal better than what you're offering me. And he's like, no, you don't. I was like, okay.
I'll bite. How do you know I don't?
The fact of the matter is I'm canceling with you. Why? Because I've already got another internet service provider. You told me how much you were going to bring it down to. If mine was going to be higher than that, obviously I'd say okay, but I'm not, because mine's still lower than that. I just don't think that's true. And I'm like, dude, okay, I called to cancel. You now call me a liar twice. And I said, can you cancel it or not? Yeah, I sure can.
Then do that.
And so it got pretty cold between us. A little cold front ran through, right? So 3 or 4 days later, and I've still got her number in my phone. She told me to save it. Lady calls me from that company, and she said,
the one you canceled?
Yeah. She said, I just listened to your...
that was being monitored.
She said, I just listened to that. And she said, and I have to call you and commend you for not telling him to F off. She said, because that's what I would have said. And she said, and I don't use those words, but she said, so I just got through having a meeting with him, just so you know. And she said, I want to offer you, she said, I'm putting this in our system. I'm giving you the number so that no matter if this company sells or whatever, you use this number, you call this office, tell them this reference number, you can have $50 internet for the rest of your life, as long as it's somewhere we cover. And she said, and she gave me all, and I put it all in my phone. So one day
you got that golden ticket you can pull out.
Say,
no TCW.
Hold up.
Slide it over.
Hold up.
But are they going to have fiber?
No, they're not going to have fiber.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever do fiber.
No. I don't know what we have. Y'all got me sitting here thinking about fiber.
Unless they had it before you got there, you would have seen.
You would have known
fiber because they disrupted the streets everywhere.
In Minnesota, they have about a 2-week period where they can dig.
Yeah, because it's frozen.
Tell me about it. Yes. Yeah. It's a very short window.
And you learned that probably at an early age that in the North, construction ends at a certain time, and you can't dig again until
there will be no more digging. No digging for you.
Yeah, we had to wait. We bought the house in November. And I'm trying to get electricians to come. I got to get a new panel put in. They can come and put a new panel in there, but they just had to have the lines hanging and everything till, ground that thawed out. It was, April, May.
That's like, again, Jason Hurd, who was the golf pro here at the country club and then went to Maine. I was like, how long is the golf season in Maine? 6 weeks? He said, no, we may get in 7.
Really?
I think it's a little longer than that.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to make it pay.
I first understood about that being in the North when I was playing baseball in high school, and I'm short. I was a good ball player, but I'm short. And so I got 2 JUCO offers. That's all I got. Both of them were for an 1/8 of a scholarship apiece. And one of them was to a JUCO in Southern Illinois, and the other one was to a JUCO in Iowa. And I asked my coach, I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, look, if you just want to keep playing ball, there's your ticket. But you're going to be paying out the wazoo to do it. That's an 1/8 of a scholarship, son. It's not going to be much. He said, all of your games until about late April, early May are going to be on the road. And I was like, why? He said, your fields are going to be frozen. You can't play. He said, so you're not going to class. You're having to catch up with them because you still got to maintain grades, but you're going to be in South Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi, and you're going to be riding on a bus that's going to break down every day. And, there's going to be days where y'all are pushing it to get it into the gas station so that nobody can look at it. He said, I'm just telling you, it's not the glamorous life of playing college ball that you think it's going to be. And so then when Jamie Friend, do you remember Jamie? He was managing our hot spring stations for a while. And Jamie had moved down, and he had been living in South Dakota or somewhere like that. And I remember I called him one day and said, Jamie, we need to meet. And what do you think about playing a little golf? And he's like, okay. And I was like, do you not want to play? And he's like, sorry. He said, it's April. He said, I'm just not used to playing golf before July 4th. He said, normally, maybe you'll get in there around the 1st of July. He said, end of June. He said, but normally by July 4th, it kicks in. He said, but by Labor Day, you're done.
Yeah, I'll be.
Yeah, July 4th was about the first weekend where we were really out in the sun, where it felt warm, and it's still cold. Actually, I think it's supposed to snow today back home. It's their spring break. I'm here and it's sunny, and I left them at home, and it's gonna snow. They're gonna hate me.
Thomas Teacock Mangum and I did show up at the country club one Sunday to play, and they're like, y'all are really, it's snowing. I said, that's what we got orange golf balls for.
Broke out our orange golf balls.
Yeah. So we actually went out there and played in the snow. So, let's see. What's the most awkward social situation you've ever been in?
Oh, Lord.
For me, I waved back at somebody I thought was waving at me, and it wasn't me they were waving at.
Oh, that's
hey. And they're like,
no, you.
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't know if I have any.
What's a smell that instantly takes you back to childhood?
Oh, the smell of horse feed.
Horse feed?
Yeah.
Of what?
Horse feed. That smells like the oats, smell.
The molasses.
Where did you smell that at?
The barn in the back of my mom and papa's house in Elk City.
Hello.
I would go and just
dig in there.
You could shove your hands all the way down in it, and it's real cold, and it's hot outside. You do that, and then pull it up in this.
I
that
can't
smell.
believe that.
Yeah,
they spent a lot of time. This kid spent a lot of time at their grandparents' house.
For me, it's a freshly cut
grass
baseball field
or a baseball field.
Yeah. But it instantly, I smell it, and I can see Daddy in the dugout, standing over there making the lineup card, or chatting up one of the baseball moms or something. That was always a thing with Buddy.
Your kid has the potential.
He could be a starter. Just depends, does Mom play ball or not?
Your mom sure cares about your education.
She sure wants you to start, son. Let's see.
Oh, my.
What's something that when you were a kid you thought that was a luxury, but now it just feels totally normal? For me, it's big screens.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, we might have known 2 people who had a big screen. But I got a big screen in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I got a 58-inch flat that sits on top of my dresser.
Yeah.
I play my Xbox on it.
There's something that I thought that only rich people had was the double sink with the little sink in the middle. That's rich people have those kind of sinks.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that.
For me, it was the pot filler over the stove.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. If you had one of those.
Yeah, I still think that.
Yeah. If you had that, I'd like to, plumb that into my little old house.
Yeah. If you had that was a big thing. But now, every new build in Bentonville, that's pretty standard now.
Yeah. Speaking earlier, we were talking about, you got a nugget ice maker, I got a nugget ice maker. I want to have mine plumbed. I want, because let me tell you, I'm tired of pouring water in it. And I have to get the water out of the refrigerator because it runs through a filter. Otherwise, I've got to clean that thing like every 2 weeks. Because, Sandy's a little funny about stuff like that.
We got it out of the spigot, out of the spigot. Out of the spigot. Sink.
Out the hose pipe?
Hose pipe.
Yeah. Let's see. What's a small thing that makes you irrationally angry immediately? For me, it's very simple. People who don't put their shopping carts back.
Oh, well, there's a whole lot of things that really...
That tells me everything I need to know...
About you.
About that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't be friends with people who don't put their shopping carts back.
Mm-hmm.
We're just philosophically, we are too different. And litterers. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I hadn't thrown a gum wrapper out the window.
Yeah.
Or a beer bottle at a road sign, But I'm talking about, just like cleaning out your car.
Yeah.
And just dumping it out somewhere.
The bag from Burger King that you just ate. Yeah.
That, again, that tells me a whole lot about you.
Well, but about littering, and of course I'm off on a tangent. Most of the stuff that you see on the side of the roads here blew out the back of a truck.
That's true.
So don't throw it in the back of your truck.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'll give you a little grace on that.
Yeah.
I'll give you some grace on that.
Yep.
But when I just see you just chunk stuff out.
Yeah,
that doesn't.
Well, and once again, it's a driving thing for me, and it's the four-way stop thing that you're not paying attention to see who's on the right. So anyway, what's yours, Amanda?
There's not a lot of things that make me just like instantly. I don't get angry very fast, but if there was one thing, it was when parents would get out of the car in the car pickup or drop off line to get little Johnny out of his car, their little snowflake. That's probably the one thing
they're
that
having
would
to get
just,
their backpack.
It's like,
comb
baby,
their hair.
That should have already been done.
Make them a poached egg.
Get out, tuck and roll, say bye, let's go. We got to get to work.
And the teachers are going.
Yeah. Yes. So I think that would be the only thing that would really get but
you don't belong in the school drop-off line if you're not ready to drop them off.
Exactly.
Period.
No, I meditate a lot to help me with that.
Did you say you medicate a lot or meditate? Meditate. Okay.
No. And medicate. I mean, let's be honest.
What was a great fashion trend, but today is just cringe? For me, so like when I was in my early 20s, it was in fashion for guys to wear Guess jeans with some Doc Martens and a nice shirt. That was kind of a thing. But when I see 40-something-year-old men still wearing Doc Martens and Guess jeans, I'm like,
dude, it's been...
Come on, man.
Yeah. Dude,
pay attention.
Dude.
So, for example, we changed hats. We had some hats, and we've changed the style of the hat. And I went to, especially for you, and I said, I'm just kind of getting the feeling that these initial hats we had aren't in style. He said, oh, no, they're not. He said, 2004 called and wondered if you really wanted those.
Okay.
And I was like, Tim, you could have given a brother a heads up. He's like, I could have.
But you ordered them.
I figured you knew what you wanted. And so I was like, yeah, well, I think I want these. And he was like, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And I said, and I want you to do that weird thing where they put the logo to one side instead of in the middle. He said, even better idea.
Yep. Even better idea.
Yep.
Everybody's doing that.
They're very, very cool.
Yeah, so evidently that's the thing.
Yes.
But yeah, listen, if you're in your 40s and you're dressed like a pissed off teenager, that's not cool. That's not cute.
No.
Yeah.
No.
If you're wearing airplane pants, you remember those from the 80s?
Parachute pants?
I was about to say like the jams. Remember jams?
Oh, shoot. I'd wear a pair of jams right now.
Yeah, I'd wear them too. But
So I've got 3 pair of sweatpants at home. I love to wear them all the time. And my wife likes to make fun of them. And so one day we were at Hollis's down there for the all-you-can-sin buffet.
Oh, yeah.
And so she was like, look, Papa has on his jogging pants.
Like you?
And I didn't have jogging pants on, but I looked over there and I said, yeah, the difference is he bought those when you were still in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I said, those have risen 6 inches. That's why they hit him mid-calf, okay?
And he's got
them pulled up to here.
Pulled up to his chest.
Yeah. I mean, he remembers when Jesus was still a boy. Remember that kid running around here somewhere, Joseph's kid, right? Yeah. Let's see. What's something everyone pretends to enjoy but secretly does not? Last time I asked that question, I said church. Depends on your church, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
To me, it's those team building exercises.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. And it's hard for me to say that because that's a lot of the work that I've done most in my life. But I don't do the cringy kind. I'm actually really good at it. And people enjoy my stuff. But I like team build. Forced fun, the forced togetherness that you have to do with people that you work with that you
Don't really
you
care
really
to
just
be there.
don't want to see them when you leave.
Yeah.
You know?
The now we had a guy at a place I was working. He came here to El Dorado and put on a 3-day seminar, and I've been to all the self-helps. I've heard all the cliches, you know, on the way to being a better you, and I've been through all of them. Okay, there's you know, Who Moved My Cheese to Raving Fan to The Tipping Point to Tony Robbins. I've been all of them. Okay, I've got certificates galore from graduating from all of those, and they're all pretty much the same. This guy's a little bit different in that he starts off with, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. I'm just asking you, is there a better version of you you'd like to be?
Hey, I like that.
And that's where he starts. And then by the time he's done 3 days later, and this is just the 3-day thing, by the time he's done, he has you questioning everything you thought you knew about yourself. And then are you willing enough to be honest with yourself to challenge yourself? And you don't have to tell anybody about it. It's just something you personally have to challenge yourself to do. And I still put into practice a whole lot of the stuff that, you know, from the challenging myself. He also puts on a week-long course. You go to his ranch down in Brookshire, Texas. And
you become a Mooney.
Yeah, and then you sell flowers at the airport. No, but that one, I've had some friends who've gone through that one, and they've come back, and I noticed immediately
Something's different about
Something's different.
and it's the ability to be a leader, the ability to take on leadership roles, not the ability to take on praise and accolade, or the ability to be able to wear a butt chewing when things go wrong. Just the ability to take a lead in any situation. They are built to be a leader, and they know when to step back and let their people handle it, and they know when to step in and take it over. And a lot of times, and that's where I struggled so much in my career, was knowing when to stand back and let my people handle it, or knowing when I needed to step in. Because once I made my mind to step back, I never stepped in. Well, then it was like, yeah, but we could have used you. So it was always the way of, if I decided I was going to step in, I never learned to step back after that. And they were like, well, you got things right, and you could have let us go, but you just took it over. Yeah. And so I don't know if I'm any better at that today or not. I felt like I was getting better when I had employees. Now I have employees again, so we'll find out, I guess.
Yep, we'll
So
let them
you know how our children have to experience a little, like sometimes a hard lesson makes them learn and grow their ability to see the world and understand the world and elevate their level of sense making. Well, we don't stop that as adults. So one of the things that was really important when I was leading big teams of people across Walmart and all the other companies I've worked for is I ask myself, am I stealing a heat experience away from this person that they need to grow? And if I do, and if I do that, then you know that I'm not leading them in the way that they need to be led. So it was like always, even though they may have to struggle, but then also knowing, is it too much, and when to kind of offer the support in the right way. And so, yeah,
and that's a real thing, because like you said, sometimes they need to struggle on that a little bit. They need to learn that. I'm not going to tell that. That's too personal for one of my kids. I won't tell that story. My kids already know they have no private life.
Yeah.
And when you're my kid,
when your dad's in radio, and
it's just going to be. It is what it is. And poor Micah, she would call us in the middle of the show and say, "I can't believe you just told that on the radio."
She's like, mortified.
Hey, you should be in class by now.
Right.
Yeah. What are you doing out?
But yeah, sometimes you just have to let them struggle.
Yeah.
And you have to, and again, sometimes with your teams. The problem for me has always been that, and again, I had an employer who would just let me struggle. The problem for me was I'm saying, hey, I need help. You got it. Figure it out. That's not helping me. I'm learning from this struggle, sure. I'm learning that you're an asshole.
Right.
So I'm also learning that when I need you most, I can't depend on you.
Yeah.
There was one day I was having to deal with a situation I never dealt with, and it was with a customer, and I had spoke with one of my two bosses and said, hey, can you be with me? Because I have no idea what I'm talking about here. He's like, yeah, absolutely. Well, when it came time, that customer showed up. This one boss, I nicknamed him Crescent Wrench. You get into the bind and he'll slip off. And so he couldn't be found. So a little later, I'm walking through the yard there, and he comes and says, hey, how'd that meeting go? He kind of grinned, and I jumped his butt. And I said, don't you do that to me. I'll walk out of here right now. I said, you hung me out to dry, and what you taught me is I can't depend on you.
Yep.
And I walked off. He's like, hey. I said, talk to me later. Not right now. Now's not a good time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a verbal statement that we're both gonna regret. But like I said, the hard part for me was learning when should I step in, when should I not, or when should I step. I had to step in, so should I step back out?
Yeah.
That was always a hard one for me.
Yeah.
And you figure it out as you go along the way.
You do.
And some people never do, and then they wonder why they go through employees like they do, or they wonder why they never can get past this smart
or life.
Right.
Yeah. That's the other thing is there's some people that their entire life is a dumpster fire. Everything they do is a dumpster fire.
It follows them around.
Everything they are a part of has panic and chaos all over
drama
it.
and
yes.
I've had people like that in my life, and I never ever ever will again.
That guy.
Oh, she's going to give you hers.
Yeah.
Don't. Oh, she didn't write my name.
Never mind, Boomer. Absolutely.
It's
they bring it on
hard.
themselves.
They bring it on themselves.
And when you sit down with them and you try to say, have you ever noticed? There's always an excuse. Well, if this, or just but. And I'm like, at some point, I'm not your parent, So I've gotten to where I just look at them and say, well, you know what? I saw that was happening. I saw it was coming. Yeah. You didn't. And I'm disappointed in how it turned out. And I know for me, friends or in my employees or anyone, I don't ever want to disappoint you. I can piss you off. I can say something dumb, sure. But when you disappoint someone, it's because I expected a different outcome from you. Yeah. And so, I've been fired one time in my entire life. And I told them, I said, from the time I've been an employer, I know I've only fired people because they disappointed me. And I said, obviously, you feel like I've not lived up to my end on one level or another. And if that's the case, I apologize.
Yeah.
Wish y'all the best of luck.
Sure. Yep.
And I got my stuff and I left.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, there's people that their entire life is that way. And it's because maybe it's ADHD, maybe it's just they don't give a damn, but I don't think that's really the case for people who really work at it and are trying. The problem is overextension and under-delivered.
Overextension, under-deliver, and probably poor choice-making skills. Right.
Sometimes, right.
I think there's some of that in that the constant. It's kind of like what's the character on Peanuts that had the mess. You know what I'm talking about?
Pigpen.
The ripple effects of poor, like just maybe not the right decision or a bad decision. Those ripple effects just continue to happen, and I feel like that starts the dust up of just the constant chaos.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then of course you go from that to what brings that on. What
happened
that?
there?
Well, there was a vehicle parked out there. The sun was just beaming off of it.
Oh, okay.
It's like all of a sudden I can see it.
Yeah.
All it pulled up in
I noticed you kept trying to scoot over where I know, I'm like, hold my hat up so you can block the sun at some point. But and sometimes they just don't have time management skills, or sometimes it's they crave the accolades that would come with doing this, but they got to get this done too. So they try to do both of them, and they don't do either one of them well. But if somehow or another they'd have pulled this one off, there would have been some accolades, or maybe monetarily there would have been some benefit, or some reward. But whatever it is, oftentimes their desire for a reward overweighs their common sense of, I can't do all of that. I used to be that person. I know.
You try to do it all.
I tried to do it all.
Yeah.
And there were times I had to.
Performance trap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And there were times that I had to.
Yeah.
Little radio station, my paychecks were bouncing. I had to be
Had to
everything.
do everything.
I
Yeah.
had to be the engineer, the sales manager, the on-air guy, the remote guy, the producer. I had to do all those things, and then try to figure out a way where my voice wasn't back to back on every commercial on the radio, So,
Make up voices is what you did.
that's what I did. So, but anyway, that's just a lot of times, like you said, it's brought on by themselves. Let's see. How about this one before we go to break? What's a life skill everyone should know, but many people don't? For me, I put how to cook 3 meals. You need to know how to make something for breakfast. You need to know how to make a protein. And you need to know how to make a pasta. If you can do those 3 things, you can feed yourself for the rest of your life.
Wow.
So whether you know how to make pancakes from scratch or biscuits or whatever it is,
Yeah.
you need to know how to do something with 3 meals: a protein, a pasta, and a breakfast.
To be able to cook. Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe that protein is boiling water with hot dogs in it, but you've got to be able to do something.
I watch these videos of guys that make a shelter in the middle of winter.
Oh my
and
gosh,
they build
yeah.
all this stuff up, and they mix the mud up and put it all together.
Yeah.
And then they go inside and build a fire, and they'll pull out a bell pepper and some onions and some raw meat. And I said,
Where'd that come from?
Where'd that come from, bro? You're not going to be packing that around if you're in the middle of winter. Anyway,
Yeah,
they're always cutting up tomatoes.
Yeah, and always have those big knives. Those big, look like a hatchet almost.
And they made a cutting board out of a piece
out
of
of a
wood.
slice of wood. Yeah, and
What's yours?
Skill, right? What's a skill? Critical, either critical thinking or dialectical thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Dialectical thinking, the ability to hold 2 truths in your head at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
So you can see things. Everything can't be black and white.
Yeah.
We can, you and I can love each other and also have completely different, that's just political leanings, right?
Yeah.
That's not a great example, but that's kind of a...
It is for me and him.
Yeah.
We love each other, but we can't stand each other at the same time.
Yeah, sure.
I call him, he's like, I didn't want to talk to you for an hour.
Honestly, I would say critical thinking is of all of the, I've led and developed, and I worked with and did leadership development for the top executives at Walmart that reported to the CEO, Doug McMillon, who just retired. Mm-hmm. And so the people who get to those positions have such an advanced ability to think critically, to have this dialectical thinking, and the ability to know themselves and truly be honest with themselves and their abilities and what they can't do.
That's right.
And be willing to, and be willing to look in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm not good at this one thing, but that's okay. I have other people that can do that, but I can also work on that in myself.
Yes.
And the ability to reframe. All of mine, as you can see, is around probably cognitive behavioral health, mental health. I think that is some of those things. Being in corporate America for 25 years, those are the things of all the skills. I can teach you negotiation. I can teach you to be an accountant. I can teach you anything you need to learn to do your job. I cannot teach you as an adult how to think critically for yourself.
Yeah.
So that was my one thing that I really...
Because the rabbit the dog has to chase the rabbit down whatever trail it goes down.
Exactly.
And that's, to me, I can't say, well, think of it like this, and then expect you to have the same picture in your mind that I have in mine. When I talk about my daddy being in the dugout, I can see the dugout. I can see the field. I can see in my mind past the dugout, the field behind it, and then the road behind that and cars going by. I know exactly what picture. But you would never be able to draw the same picture. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at the third base dugout. You may be thinking I was talking about the first base dugout. You know, so
just that
it's but every person. But you nailed it. You have to be willing to be honest with yourself about what you cannot do.
Correct.
Or maybe just even, I'm not as good at that. So, for example, I used to be a little self-conscious, especially all these Cajuns in my family, about using a jarred roux.
Okay.
And but then one day I figured out my roux is no better than what I'm buying. I can't make it any better than that.
Lady from New Iberia.
That's
so
right.
Then why the
so
hell
why
am
are
I
you
worried about it?
You know? Yes.
I mean,
yes.
So can I make macaroni and cheese better than Kraft? You better believe I can.
But not as
quick.
Not a roux.
Can I make a rib better than most people I know?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I can. Mm-hmm. So I'm willing to do that. But if it's something where I'm like, why am I spending an hour and 20 minutes trying to make a dark peanut butter colored roux when I can go right there to the store and buy it in a jar?
Yep.
And then break that thing out and throw it in the bottom of the pan.
Now you talk back up to smells that take you back.
Ooh, I bet.
It's my grandmother making a roux.
Making a roux.
In Winnie, Texas, in that little old kitchen. Yep.
Yeah, I made sausage Creole last night.
Ooh.
Did you?
Yeah. And kids were like, "Daddy, what is this? It smells so good." I'm like, "It's sausage Creole," and they're like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's just a Cajun dish." And of course, the princess, she's like, "Well, I love some Cajun." She does. She loves Cajun food.
I love that. Hattie likes spicy food too. Hattie is my adventurous eater.
Yeah. So the princess, she is all about. She's all about some gumbo, and she's got somebody she loves to see her videos. She'll go like on my Facebook and look at the reels, and the woman always finishes with "So good, y'all."
So good, y'all.
South Louisiana woman, so good, y'all. And so she'll be eating something, and she'll be like, "Daddy, so good, y'all."
That's
so
great.
Cute.
That's great.
Aww.
But and then I tell her, I said, "Well, kid, you're going to start liking more stuff because not everything." I said, I need to make corn mac chow for you, for example. I need to make you a sauce piquant. And I said, but you got to start, trying to branch out a little more with what you eat. And so she's willing to try stuff. Now, here's the funny part. She'll try something. She'll never say, "Oh, I don't like that." I'll just notice a little bit later she's pushing that part off to the side of her plate and she's eating everything else. But she will try it.
I will tell you, our kids are so much more adventurous in their eating than I was as a kid, I think, especially Hattie and Brooke. But I think back when we were in Bentonville, there's such a multicultural community
It's a melting
there.
pot,
It's
yeah.
a melting pot. And so their best friends are all sorts of different cultures. And so they were always eating all sorts of stuff. And then it's the same way in Austin. It's very diverse. And so it's the same way. And it's right now she is like 4-star spice, 5-spice. Like she wants it as hot as she can get it. And just, it's all about spicy foods.
Growing
Thai
up where I
food.
grew up in Houston, I've said before, I live here. Everyone who lives on this side of me is Hispanic. Everyone who lives on this side of me is black. And so I'm the Oreo.
We are too in our neighborhood.
And so you talk about the best food.
Listen.
So the people immediately next door who were black, they just made good Southern soul food. And it was, man, I learned very early on how good greens can be, and then, but the people who lived right next to them, they were from Africa. And they had a whole different
style of food, yeah.
Well, then my best buddy Jomo, his family was from Guyana, and so it took on a lot of Creole. It was a whole lot of Creole taste to it. Well, then Chuy Gonzalez, who lived over here on this side, his family was from northern Mexico, so it was like the Mexican food we get here, norteña. And but Dora Rodriguez, who lived right down from him, her family was from Jalisco. Lots of seafood, and so it was just not just the different ethnicities, but then the different regions within those. And so I grew up eating all kinds of great food. Listen, I didn't get to be this size.
At the neighbors.
I didn't get to be this size by being picky.
Right. Let me tell you, the first time I found the Salvi moms in Bentonville with the pupusas, I was like, give me all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you get, and I think that, like I said, every parent I beat myself up a lot about parenting, because I don't want to screw the kids up, especially the younger ones. I'm not going to be here to straighten it out later,
Right.
Or I won't be here as long for them to straighten it out. But I worry about it. But one of the things I do is I do cater a little too much to them, I think, to what they taste. I'm telling you, growing up, it was poke your feet under the table and eat.
This is it or
This is
nothing.
what you get. This or you can be hungry.
Yep.
It's up to you.
Yep.
And last night I told you I made the sausage Creole, and the youngest, he's not going to eat that. First of all, it would have been too spicy for him. So, so he has I have his own little tray of meat and mac and cheese, and he eats that up and he loves it. But I do feel bad from time to time, because I'm not forcing them, at least on a small level, to venture out with their tastes just a little.
Yeah.
And it hurts me when I hear the 6-year-old say, I just don't eat vegetables. And I'm like, ooh.
I know, it's hard.
I'm not the parent who's going to say, well, you're going to sit there, you and that Brussels sprout can just sit there. I'm not doing that.
That's how my mom would tell me. That's what you need to do with your oldest. He just needs to sit there. That's his food. He needs to sit and eat it. And now, it's not about, he's not picky. He is slightly on the spectrum, and there are certain things that he will go to eat, and his brain says that is wrong, and you are sick, and he cannot eat it. So I've had to learn which kid.
For some people, it's a texture. There are some textures I'm just like, but I rarely have a texture issue with food. But there are people who's like, man, that smells good. It looks fantastic. I bet it even tastes good, but I just can't do the texture. And I feel for those.
Bananas.
Apples.
Oh,
yes,
really?
You can't do bananas.
Bananas I don't like, but apples, certainly, the grittiness. I do a dehydrated apple slice. I can eat those all day long, but the grain, there's certain things that I
don't
just
like bananas.
cannot handle.
And maybe that's why. Because
the slimy.
I don't like that mushy.
And the strings.
Yeah. Now,
gross.
Someone was telling me one time, because they were like, what's your favorite candy? And I said, for me, it's just about anything that's fruity and chewy. I like fruity, chewy candy. So that can be anything from a Twizzlers to a Skittles to gummy bears. I don't know, but I like fruity, chewy candy. And they said that's why you don't like bananas.
Okay.
It's fruity but not chewy.
Yep.
It's more mushy.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, but I've never really had a texture issue. Said it may not be. You may not understand it's a texture issue, but your brain does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your brain does.
Yeah.
And it's not that they gross me out. I could eat a banana. It's not enjoyable to me. And I'm kind of like you when it comes to apples. There's certain apples I can eat, not a problem. But if I get in there and it's real grainy, and it feels like it breaks into cement into my mouth, or concrete, I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't like them.
So, listen, I've got more we could do, but I'm just glad you came and we're on the podcast with us.
Well, thanks for having me. I really have enjoyed this, getting to visit.
I told him yesterday, I said, see if Amanda will be on the podcast with us. And he was like, when he told me you would, I was like, that is so awesome.
Absolutely. I love this,
So, and now we have officially had all your children on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Lauren,
not Amy. Haven't had and Lauren and Lisa. When Lauren was here, they couldn't.
They came and stood back here.
Stood back here with us, and we talked to them.
Well, you got to get Amy.
Yeah, we got to get Amy.
Yeah.
And so we may make that for when we open one of these. Never mind. We've got some announcements.
We're gonna
coming.
Maybe some branching out a little bit.
Interesting.
We've pulled off another huge coup. I don't know how we've done it, but we've done it. And yeah, I do. I don't want to say I know how. I don't know how. Yeah, we're blessed.
Yeah,
we're
blessed and highly favored.
That's right. But you also probably work hard too. Work hard, work smart.
It's amazing how blessings and luck smell a lot like sweat.
Yeah. Right?
They do.
Right.
The harder I work, the luckier I get.
That's amazing how that works out. But we have a couple of big announcements coming later this year that I'm floored. I'm blown away, humbled by them. But and we do have some expansion plans.
Good.
That we're working on.
Good.
And but yeah, we do have to have Amy on, and then
Maddox.
Yeah. So Cam was like,
"What's up?
Jax has been on.
What's up?
Micah's been on.
What?
What's up?
And I was like, you have a contract with the school district. You can't.
Yeah, you can't be on the.
And he's like, do I really? I said, you better go back and look at it.
They won't let them do.
No, I don't think so.
No, they won't let
No, because, for example, we couldn't get Mr. Jameson, John Jameson, the principal, we couldn't get him on the podcast. He had like a 1 week window where he was between contracts. It was the only time he could come, and we were able to get him.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Okay.
If I remember right, that's how he was telling me that worked.
Contract.
Once they sign that contract, they can't come do public appearances like that. So
interesting.
Well, thanks, Amanda.
Well,
Appreciate
thank you for
coming.
y'all, and I'm just so happy to see you doing this. This is
You know
fun,
what?
and the success that you're having. It just makes me so happy
I
for
could tell you 12 stories of how doors were slammed, and God was like, watch this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but Lord, that door's slammed. He said, quit looking at that door and look at this open one over here. And I'm like, oh,
I have felt that over and over in the last 5 years of my life, and it really is true. You just got, don't fight against it. And be open to the possibilities is what I keep telling myself, And
I won't give the whole testimony, but I will just say this. The day this company started, I just got off a phone call on a deal that I was sure was going to work out. I was going to go and take this position, and it was a great position, and the money and the benefits and a car and an expense account. And my job was basically going to be take these people who are very rich and show them what a good time is and thank them for being contributors. And here's the money to do that with. Go play golf. If y'all need to go on a South Texas deer hunt, go. It's on us. And I was just sure that deal was going to work out. And when it didn't, I hung up the phone, and I'm standing in my kitchen, and I just looked at the ceiling, and I said, Lord, you got a house note due. I don't know what you're going to do, but you got a house note due in a few days. And then my phone rang. And it was a guy that I had fired who worked for me years ago, who went on to own his own radio stations, and says, as a son of a pastor, I feel bad because I don't pray as much as I should. I said, well, do any of us? And he's like, no, but he said, I've sold my radio stations, and I've got some money. Not generational wealth. I can't retire with it, but I've got some money. And I was praying and said, Lord, what am I supposed to do? And he said, he told me to call you. And he said, so this is that phone call. And so I told him about my idea for South Arkansas Now. And he was like, let's do it.
That's amazing.
So, now, a year and a half later, I still hadn't paid me. Everybody else is paid, though. I don't owe anybody money for anything.
Entrepreneurship is hard.
It is hard.
It is very hard.
And my family has had to make tons of sacrifices for this privilege of running and owning this. But I'll say this. Boy, the sun looks like it's bright as it's coming up. We're really right there.
Good.
We are really right there. As a matter of fact, I was telling my partner the other day, I said, I could pay me. It would just put a strain on, I just don't want to put any strain on the account until I have to.
Yeah.
And by this time in a couple weeks, it shouldn't even be a strain, though. We've got our receivables are up there pretty high, and
good.
Jax is doing great.
Good.
He's setting the world on fire. So,
well, it makes me so happy for you.
Obviously, I'm the only one at this table who feels this way, but I would love for y'all to move back to Arkansas. I even miss Shane. I always liked Shane.
Sugar Shane.
I always thought
Mr. Parker's Chapel.
I always thought the world of him. He's just a fabulous guy.
He is. Thank you.
So laid back and easygoing, and I remember you and I having this conversation because we were having it about my oldest, but you said, speaking from experience, you said God had to give me someone like Shane because God knows I couldn't have taken someone who was a hothead and controlling and demanding. I needed somebody who could roll with the punches.
Yep.
And just be like, yeah, okay, how about this?
Yeah.
And I've often joked that Micah will be no one's first wife.
Yeah.
She'll never be anybody's first wife because she's going to need somebody who's had experience and knows what they want and knows how to accomplish it. That's where she's going to find her mate. So I always liked Shane because he just seemed so perfect for you.
He really is. And he's been a perfect partner and a wonderful husband. And
And even without hair, he's good looking. Damn it!
I know, right? Y'all, and doesn't even look like he's aged, and he can eat.
He's got that
boxes of Twinkies and not gain a pound, and it's disgusting. It makes me so mad. But he's a fantastic human, and we have lots of family in Arkansas that isn't ever going to move up closer to us. And his mom is still in Bentonville. And so we will always have a home in Arkansas. So,
yeah. Who knows what the future brings, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
We're going to get on our knees tonight and start talking to Murphy USA. And
well, I'll tell you what. They did have a job before I went to Minnesota. There was a job here that I thought,
Yeah. So, well, Amanda, again, God knows that I love you. Always
I love
have,
you
always
too.
will.
Thank you, Sandy.
And have you constantly in our prayers for sure.
Thank you.
And wherever the Lord leads you, I know you'll go and you'll do well. You'll be fine. So that's going to do it for us this week. I'm done. I can't talk anymore.
You're there.
That's going to do it for us this week on Off the Back Porch. Thank you to Amanda, Boomer, and of course, again, thank you to all of our great sponsors. We will see you next week on Off the Back Porch.
With a history of being the voices you trust, this is Off the Back Porch.